Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. I am your host, Pearl, and today do I have a show for you. But before we get into it, I have a couple announcements. First, guys, we are looking to potentially open a studio in Dallas, and this would be a sort of shared studio. So if there's any YouTubers that watch me, content creators, and you guys want to pitch in couple $100, grand a month-ish for rent and studio equipment. It's a shared space. It's really going to be limited to a couple people. So DM me on Twitter or email me at justpearlythings@gmail.com if you're interested. Pearly Things with a Z on Twitter. Feel free. Second announcement is that our first talk is going to be the first Tuesday of April on the network website. So as you guys know, I'm going to bring in the smart, intelligent men that I know to help you guys learn how to make more money, improve your love lives, whatever it is. As you guys know, I'm going to be doing this forever. I love interviewing people, and I can get you someone on the platform that's not always famous, but very intelligent that can teach you guys things. So the first week, I'm going to teach you guys how I got famous on YouTube and how to make money on the internet. Whether you want to be behind the camera or in front of the camera, I can teach you guys how to do it. So we're going to do that on Tuesday. It's going to be about a 45-minute presentation, and then at the end, you guys can ask questions to me. I'll tell you guys how to get in touch with big accounts, how to find editors overseas or here. So yeah, so if you guys want to do that, sign up to the audacitynetwork.com. The link is in the description, or go to www.theaudacitynetwork.com. The price is going to go up. Right now it's $10 a month, $100 a year. As soon as I upload my first module, which I have a whole plan of what we're doing with that, but I'm going to wait till another show. As soon as I do that, I'm raising the price. So get it now. It's probably going to be in the next week. We've had a issue with something, took a little longer than we thought, but yeah. It also gets you guys first access to the documentary. Okay. So studio, I said the talk, the network. Yeah, okay. Okay, so next I wanted to tell you guys, you guys requested that I follow the story with the baton girl. Before we get to the main topic today, I guess, so a couple of weeks ago, I followed a story of a woman who was running track and decided it was a great idea to hit another woman with a baton when she was passing her. And after the fact, this woman decided to play victim and say she didn't mean to do it. So we're going to watch this together, and we can all decide if you guys think this was intentional.
Track athlete has been charged with assault and battery after this viral video at a meet. Alyssa Everett is facing charges after
She swung twice. If you're going to claim accident, swing once and then be like, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. So I guess they're protesting for this woman and blaming it on racism, even though both of the people involved were black. So the victim was also black, but apparently this is racism. I never thought I'd see the day. But now she has been charged with assault and battery. I'm hoping that she can never run track again. I think that would be a great punishment, but we'll see, I guess.
Hitting Kaylin Tucker with a baton. The incident last week left Tucker with a concussion and possibly fractured skull. Judges immediately disqualified Everett for the contact interference. She has said that the act was not intentional. A court date has not yet been set.
Okay, so women being crazy. Not all women, not all women. I'm back on YouTube. Feel free to super chat. Let me look on the website really quick. I also do read chats on the website. But make sure if you are on the website today, you say Pearl Read. We do have an app, so you can download that. Either app store, you just type in the Audacity Network. But it is starting to get kind of crowded on the website. So guys, make sure you put Pearl Read before if you do have a comment. Otherwise, if you want your comment read, you got to super chat today. Okay, guys. So I get a lot of flack for saying my opinions. And sometimes my opinions do not make me popular, okay? I say what I'm thinking, and sometimes there's such a backlash that I wonder, maybe I should bend a little bit. Maybe I should lie a little more. But I just don't have it in me. And especially not when it comes to traditional conservatives. Because, guys, my background is I went to Catholic school. And I saw all of the manipulation tactics that traditional conservatives use to get you to do what you want, to get you, they have an ego-invested belief in you joining their religion, so they have no problem lying to you to get there. And one of the biggest lies that I see is conservative men oftentimes pretend like they're in patriarchal relationships where they run their households, and it's just very obvious that they're not. Now, look, I'm not even saying that a patriarchal relationship is the way that you should do it. You guys are grown men. I say live how you want. I don't care. I mean, if you guys want to go date a woman that's 60 years old and you're 30 and you want to go for the cougar, I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I do not. It does not matter to me. If you guys want to go get henpecked by your wives 24/7, go do it. If you guys want to go date hot 20-year-olds, if you want the 35-year-old girl that's trying to stick the land in, I mean, you can do whatever. But so it's just become normal, and it drives me nuts. There's so many great men that accept their women being so disrespectful to them in public and subtly. So I really have been looking forward to this episode, and the reason being is I grew up around women like this. I really did. And yeah, so I'm going to get into it. So we are going to talk about how women are supposed to be traditionally helpmates to their husbands. But oftentimes they do the exact opposite. So I was on Twitter, on X, and I came across Matt Walsh's wife, Alyssa Walsh. Now, me and Alyssa, we do have a little bit of history. So last year I had a tweet criticizing the institution of marriage and saying that the Daily Wire guys do not understand how bad marriage is because they're too young. Because oftentimes men get screwed over in their 40s, early 40s, late 30s. So sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. Like Crowder got zeroed out in his 30s. In his 20s, he had very similar talking points, right? When Crowder was in his 20s, he pointed to marriage and family as the solution to everything. Now he's in his 30s. His wife got on $30K a month worth of child support. He has a little bit of a more humble tune, right? He came back and said, you know what, guys? I might not have been right about that. But remember, before Crowder got divorced, they had the perfect picture of a marriage. Him and Hillary had articles written about how amazing their marriage was. They waited till marriage in their late 20s. They did it the right way. However, now they're divorced just like the rest of us, right? Now they've also failed just like the rest of us. And the reason that this is deceptive is because oftentimes these guys are in terrible marriages and they're not honest about it to their audience, or they use their marriage as a marketing ploy. How many men did Crowder lead to slaughter because he pushed his guys, if a woman makes you wait for sex, does she like you? 1 in the chat if she likes you, 2 in the chat if you're wasting your time. But so these guys, a lot of times what happens is they just don't have a lot of experience with women. But the problem is they use this as marketing for their religion because they really want their religion to be right? That's what they want. And by the way, I don't know. I think Matt Walsh might be Catholic. I'm Catholic too. Like if I had to stake my bets in a church, in religion, I would bet the Catholics, right? We would be on the same team. But what I don't like is when people use their relationship as a way to virtue signal. And then if I ask any questions about it, I'm apparently the bad guy. I'm evil. When you guys make it public to begin with. Okay, so by the way, a year ago, she wrote this essay about me. So I had a tweet questioning the institution of marriage. And this is what they do. You're so full of it. She says, I shouldn't respond to you. You're a grifter. Insult 1. You're so full of it. Insult 2. You're doing a disservice to conservatives and will likely find yourself a spinster with a negative outlook on marriage that you are spewing. Insult 3. It doesn't matter to these people that I'm one of 10 kids. My parents have been married 30 years. My parents are more trad than, and I'm not trad, right? But they're more quote unquote trad than any of these people. I mean, they started a business young, and I don't even, like, they did the trad thing. They had 10 kids when my mom was in her 20s, not her 30s. Like, if I wanted to give trad off points, should I use my relationship as a marketing ploy? Is that something I should do? Would that be, when I have children someday, should I use those for the internet to prove that I'm right? Is that the proper way to do it? Maybe I should try it. Okay. You have no idea who we are. You make assumptions because you see successful men expressing the positives about marriage and having a family. I think part of your issue is that they are men and not women promoting marriage, and it doesn't sit well for you with a plethora of reasons in your own upbringing. My upbringing was more trad than you people, okay? All right, an outlook that I could psychoanalyze all day. This is crazy talk. Like, this is insane. This was my first interaction with the woman. So this is what I mean. And I want you guys to pay attention, because the way these women react to me is the way they react to their husbands. Do you think, and I want to be honest, if she's insulting me for going after the institution of marriage or asking a question about her Twitter bio, which I'm going to get to, do you think she's nicer to her husband? Like, are we really gonna, her husband, who has way more emotional pull on her than a stranger on the internet? Yeah, I'm supposed to just blindly trust them. Okay. By the way, Michael Knowles' wife, I've never seen her. They kind of do the same thing, but she's not on the internet, like, doing all this stuff. I got nothing to go. Okay. Do you think when Matt and I got married, we had money? Do you think Matt was wealthy at 25 and thinking, wow, I have so much money. I don't care if I get married young and divorce at some point because I can bankroll a divorce. Oh, that was the other thing. I said, these guys have no idea what they're talking about, because do you know what? If they get divorced, they can pay for it. That's the difference. You know who gets screwed? It's the blue collar workers, okay? It's the men that work for like 20 years, 25 years. They get their pension and then their wife takes it, and now they can't ever retire. Like, I spoke to a guy out of, like, it was either Wyoming or Utah. He had a traditional wife. She worked for 25 years. He worked for 25 years. She stayed home with the kids. She divorced him, and guess what happened? He has to delay retirement by 15 years, and he's old. He's like 60. So now he's going to work till he dies because he made the decision to get a traditional wife. Do you know what would have prevented that? I told you guys last show, put her to work, because she got it because of alimony. I told you guys the secret last show. Put that chick to work. Okay. But you guys see what I'm getting at. Okay. That was my point. It wasn't really about her, but again, she's like taking it personally. It's never about her. He and other conservative men aren't selling people on lies regarding marriage. I hope, you know what? You know what's crazy? I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I really did. I said they don't know, because otherwise they're intentionally misleading young men. It's one or the other. You guys are either responsible for the 1 out of 50 men, or will commit suicide during a divorce. Men are 10 times more likely to commit suicide. So I gave you guys, I said, here is the benefit of the doubt. You guys just don't know better. Now she's saying, which one is it? Okay. All right. Do you think only 12 years, into his career, he's decided to be pro-marriage. He and other conservative men aren't selling people on lies regarding marriage. They're a beacon of encouragement in this dumpster fire of a culture that promotes itself. God forbid he shows the joys of marriage. Even then, Matt isn't forcing anyone to get married. Promoting marriage is not a form of assisted suicide. Like you would know, lady. You're a marriage counselor. Like, you guys, if anything, the marriage counselors pull the trigger. I mean, you guys are the ones that drive men crazy. I mean, if anything, that is a terrible profession. Terrible. Those are evil people 99% of the time. I know there's good ones, and by the way, I have met very good ones. But if it's a woman, I mean, there is nothing worse than you can do as a man and go to not all a female marriage counselor. Okay. So it's been 12 years and I haven't hugged 2 of my children in the chat. Yeah. And so do I get a little bit pissed off when these guys wave it with when I interview the men that are very, like, their lives are in ruins, and these guys just say, no, do it anyway because of God. God will... Put a 1 in the chat if you've had a religious woman act in a way that was not religious at all. 1 in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys... Wait, hold on. Can you take it off? Okay, so that's the history with her. So for everyone that says, leave her out of it, she chose to be a public figure, and she chose to engage with me first. Okay. Now, I'd like to say I don't know her personally. Maybe she's lovely. But this is bad optics. This is terrible optics. And what's terrible optics is I'm going to show you guys her Twitter account. She made a Twitter account. Let me find this. Solely, I bet she's watching. This is hilarious. Okay, these women, they can't help it. They'll watch. They can't. All right, so in the bio, it says sole purpose on Twitter is to troll Matt Walsh. Now, what these people don't realize they're doing is they're running anti-marketing campaigns for marriage. So, like, they're saying, get married, it's amazing. Do you guys, okay, I just want to ask you guys, is your dream wife on Twitter making fun of you? Is she publicly in front of everybody making jokes about you on Twitter? Now, you guys are going to be able to call in and say, so my first tweet that set this woman off, I guess, or that set everything off, my first initial tweet was asking the question. I didn't make a statement. I didn't say it was wrong. I just screenshotted her profile right here. And I asked the question, the primary point of your Twitter is to troll your husband. This is what men are making millions of dollars to get. Okay, all right. Now, this set off Matt. And what happens in these marriages a lot is these guys are so used to being on their wife's terms. If you look at the life decisions, the kids they had as many kids as the woman wanted. They live where the woman wanted. I mean, there was like a clip of Matt Walsh saying that he couldn't smoke in his own house. So he's doing what the woman wants. And they're so conditioned to this. They're like afraid of their wives. They don't know how to tell their wives no. And so what probably happened was she saw it, and women are fueled by their reputation, right? So she's going to pretend she didn't see it, but can you imagine? So now he's going to feel the need to defend her. So Pearl, I understand. Now remember, they're insulting me. I did not insult them. They insult these Christians are insulting me first. I just asked the question. You're on Twitter to troll your husband? Pearl, I understand that you're miserable and lonely and have never been in anything approaching a functional or healthy relationship in your life, so I'll try to be patient with you. Okay, so insult number one. I mean, maybe I should live stream every relationship. Maybe that's kind of how they do it, right? Should I use it as a marketing ploy? Is that how I should? I don't know. Maybe that's... All right, you see husbands and wives who love each other will often do this thing called joke around, okay? They may even have this other thing, I know that's foreign to you, is called a sense of humor. I'm pretty humorous. I mean, if anything, like, I have a great sense of humor, to be honest. I'm pretty easygoing. But I don't know if okay, so let me just do the math. I have to be easygoing. So in order to have a good sense of humor, I have to laugh at your wife's jokes that aren't funny. So if your wife makes jokes that are not funny, if I don't laugh, I mean, Matt's funny. I watched What Is a Woman? He's funny. But if I don't laugh at your wife's jokes, then I'm the not funny one. Do you guys even think women can be funny? Sorry, they're not all. Okay, not all. Now go spew your bullshit elsewhere and leave my wife out of it. Matt, your wife insulted me I still haven't insulted her. All I've said is maybe the making fun of the husband in public. Maybe we could not do that. Maybe we could try. And I'm not even claiming, look at, guys, please, women, there's better women you can look up to. I'm not claiming to be a role model here, right? I'm not claiming that, I'm this ideal trad, whatever. The difference is I don't play pretend. What all these other women do, and I'll tell you what they do. They do the same thing as everyone else, but pretend they didn't. And this is what they did. They both got married in their late 20s. She's having twins in her 30s. I mean, that sounds like some sort of IVF to me. I'm not saying they did or they didn't, but if I hear a woman has twins in her 30s, I usually assume she had help. And so that's just not... It's just not what they're selling, right? It's like fraudulent almost. So, okay, so now apparently I have to laugh at his wife's unfunny jokes in order to be funny. So then I ask another question. Now remember, I could have said, you super simp, Matt, you super simp, simp. And I'm not above it, I'll do it now. But I could have said, you simp, But instead, I asked a question. Isn't a wife supposed to be a helpmate and not an adversary? That was my question. Now, apparently, again, he also, this upset him, this question. Apparently I'm in La La Land because I feel like this is the basic vows. Now, again, guys, I mean, nowadays there's thruples, there's open relationships. You guys are marrying porn star. I mean, it's madness out there. I don't care. Pick one. Do you know what I mean? Like, go date older, date younger, date the same age. I don't care. I do not care. But that's a basic question that goes with the traditional. So like, if this is a traditional relationship, that should be an easy question. Okay. It's called a joke, Pearl. Can we joke about stuff that's like not at the husband's expense? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many things that we can joke about. We have the liberals, we have women, we have dumb people, we have crash out. I can think of 100 things that we could joke about before the husband. And it begs the question, if a boss, like, I promise to God, if my producer here decided to make a Twitter account just trolling me, he'd be gone. He'd be gone. So, I mean, this is like a basic respect, right? Because it's like a weird dynamic. You control your boss publicly. That's just not, it's not going to go well, right? But if you can't get that respect out of your wife, and I can get it out of an employee, like, wouldn't you say that the wife, like, she's not going to do that to her boss, You're getting less respect from your wife. Like, your wife would respect her boss more than you. That's got to be embarrassing. That's got to be embarrassing. Okay, so you can take as many pot shots at me as you want. I don't care. Leave my wife out of it. I promise you, this is not a road you want to go down. So now I'm getting threatened? Oh my gosh. I am officially getting threatened because I asked a traditional question. I asked this question. These are my two questions. The primary point of your Twitter is to troll your husband. That was question one. Isn't a wife supposed to be a helpmate and not an adversary? This is what I get threatened over? This is what... The audacity. Then Brett Cooper, she chimes in, and I want you guys to pay attention. This is the sisterhood. They're all going to come for me for asking two questions. And by the way, what women co-sign is what they deem. So if a woman's defending it, right, that means she deems this acceptable to do to her husband. Maybe she'll see my stream and think twice. I don't know. And I like Brett. She seems like a nice girl. She's young. She's still youthful. But if she surrounds herself with these tradcon women, Brett, you're going to be just as bad as them in 10 years. They all start like you, happy and full of hope. Just wait. Okay. Alyssa's the kind of wife and mother young women should be looking up to, point blank. She's fiercely devoted. Okay, she's been married 12 years, not 30. I mean, I knew a lot of people that were devoted at 12 years. That doesn't mean they're going to be devoted at 20. Okay, she and Matt have built an incredible life together. So notice how the wife, like when they refer to them as the couple, the wife comes first. She and Matt, it's subtle, but you start to notice these things. Usually that means like the wife has a bigger personality. And I'm not judging, right? I obviously have a big personality. I'm saying this isn't traditional. This isn't what you guys are selling. This is fraud. This is fraud. Okay, she's hilarious, a loyal friend, and if you know her, you're better for it. I don't know. Do you know what? I hung out with a trad wife today. There's a trad wife near me and a real one. Not you bitches on the internet. Sorry. I'm on here too. Okay. But I hung out with a real one today because I wanted help cleaning something. She gave me the best tip to cleaning cast iron ever. Oh my gosh. I have been scrubbing down cast iron like manually, and you put a little Barclays on it. And I couldn't believe how much time it would have saved me. But that's why you got to get a trad wife near you. So long story short, that woman I look up to a lot, to be honest. I really do. She's just a badass. Like she knows how to do everything. She always made food from scratch. She was super involved in her kids' lives. She would never waste an essay. She would never take time away, right, from her kids to write an essay about a random woman on the internet. I'm like 4 states away. I know nobody you know. Like, I'm not even well liked, you know. I mean, I'm despised, you know. People hate me. So, yeah, Destiny was another big talker before the divorce. And lastly, so the last thing we got to is now Alyssa Walsh is back at it. And by the way, don't let these women for a second pretend they don't love this drama. This made her day. This really did. All right, while I was out making memories with my kids today. So first, obviously, what she's going to do is use her kids for clout, okay? So TradCon women, it is impossible for them to have children and not use them for their reputation. It's like, for these women, not posting or talking about their kids publicly, it is impossible. Using them to win arguments, to virtue signal, they can't. Guys, I promise to God, they cannot do it. It is like, imagine, so I have an English bulldog, right? And when she has a steak, she's like slobbering on the floor. She's like jumping all over me, whenever I'm eating steak, she's like trying to get it. Taking away using your family for clout from these TradCon women, it is like stealing a steak from my dog. You can't do it. They'll jump on you. They'll chase you down. You can't do it. So the Pearl drama continued. Now, mind you, my drama was asking 2 questions. Not one, but 2 questions. She said I was blissfully unaware. Thank you for the super chat, K. Absol Madlin. Does anybody believe that she was really blissfully unaware? With all the women online that she knows and knowing that the average screen time is 10 hours a day. Can you put a 1 in the chat if you believe that she was just blissfully watching her kids? 2 if you don't believe her. Okay. Trad femmes are worse than rad femmes. At least the rad femmes are honest. You know what? If you go date a feminist, guys, you know you're going in with these guns loaded. You're like, all right, do you know what? If I date a feminist, she's got blue hair. It's going to be great sex. She is going to divorce me. She is going to cheat, but I'm going to get this good sex, maybe a kid out of her. And when the relationship goes up in flames, at least I saw it coming. You get the prenup. You get her to double sign it. You get all your T's and C's crossed. All of your friends are warning you not to do, and you say, I know it's going to go bad. I know this is going to be terrible, but I'm having a great time. You have a great time, and it does go down in flames. But the men that have it really bad are the ones actually like Matt Walsh because they don't see it coming. Okay. It's silly to think that a funny profile statement was triggering. Now I'm required to accept that that's funny. I don't think that's funny. Why am I required? Why am I required to find her funny? It's like you're putting a gun to my head and saying, Pearl, my bio is hilarious. And I'm saying, no, not really. That's kind of disrespectful. And they're like, no, that is hilarious. And I'm like, and then Matt is like, I'm going to threaten you. You better find this funny or else. God, I hate 2025. Do you know what? You used to not even be able to talk back to your husband without getting a slap. Now you guys are accepting your wives making public statements. Frickin' A. This is crazy. Okay. I don't think there's one person who would say I tweet in a way that's demeaning about Matt. I did. Okay. The reason, because that's not who I am or what our marriage is about. I have different priorities and outlooks in relationships than Pearl. My life is centered around faith, family, and humor. So again, that's the virtue signal. So this is again, she's trying to signal here. I am faithful, my family, and humor. And again, forcing me to find her funny. I'm annoyed. I hope that one day Pearl will have a family of her own. She's young and has many opportunities to have her own priorities, outlooks, and relationships changed for the better. Spending countless hours online, like you do, okay, or a podcast ripping people apart, looking at the ugliness of humanity is damaging. Stop the negative pillow talks and go enjoy life. So I want to Okay, so do you say the same thing? We're just going to pull up Matt Walsh's. Yeah, so
let's be clear.
Matt Walsh's channel is where he rips people apart on it. Like if I put Matt Walsh, OnlyFans, the tragedy of OnlyFans, so he's ripping into OnlyFans models. OnlyFans, it is an empowerment. I mean, and I don't care, right? But like, it just, you see it like, it's like if you're going to virtue signal to me, maybe your husband wouldn't be doing the exact same thing. Like, does he get this lecture every night? Okay. So next we're going to keep going. So now Matt Walsh is worth $6 million and supports 6 kids. Now this woman is able to stay home with her 6 kids and created an X account to troll her husband. You know, far too often, wives in the West are allowed to get away with disrespecting their husband, whether it's blatant and obvious or subtle and devious. The acts of these women can tarnish the image and reputation of their husbands. This is particularly true when the husband is a public figure. So we're going to go over this interaction and a couple of others that the wives have disrespected their husbands in public. I know what you might be thinking. Pearl, why are you going after Alyssa and Matt? Melissa and Matt, or Alyssa and Matt, are conservatives, Christians. They've been married for quite some time. Why is this such an issue to you? You know, I mean, again, it's going back to the fraud. I don't like it when people pretend to be conservative, but they're doing the same thing. I think it's fraudulent. And if you're going to push marriage, you're going to say get married. I need you to be sure that's a good decision. Yeah, someone has a nanny. Now, again, I wouldn't care if they didn't publicize their relationship as the way that we should live. But you don't get to be on the internet, use your relationship for clout, and then have nobody comment. I don't really see having an X account to make fun of your husband as a good look. You might be saying it's just a joke until you see that she made fun of her husband for attending the inauguration with a zipper on his pants open. Hold on, let me find it. Oh, here it is. Now, again, you might say this is fine. I don't care. But here we got Alyssa tweeting. And this is another thing. The men don't love this if you're tweeting the private conversations. They're really not a fan. They showed you coming in. I just got my phone. Now I have to do the backstage. She said, still, you were on screen a lot and your fly was down. I would have believed you if they didn't already show me the screenshots. Now, I want to preface by saying I want to show a contrast, okay? I'm supposed to put this in later, but Melania Trump is such a perfect example. And I want to show Melania Trump would never do this to Donald Trump. And I want to show you the contrast of you got the one wife trolling on Twitter and the wife over here, our precious and beautiful Melania. They try to get her to say something bad about Donald.
Unbelievable mother. I'll be a good father, but I'll be,
How do you know?
doing my deals.
You know it.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
She'll be an amazing mother. I have no doubt about that. She'll be an amazing mother.
Have you been back to Slovenia?
I've been in Slovenia 2 years ago.
Did you go?
Yes, I was there about 13 minutes. No, it's a beautiful country. I landed, said, hi, Mom, hi, Dad, bye. Boom.
Let's show the ring. Can we get a close-up of the ring, and Donald will tell us, as Don Rickles would say, this ring signals ships. Did you pick it?
Well, I picked it, and it's from Graf Jewelers, who are terrific, and
Oprah's jeweler.
That's true, and I love Oprah. She is terrific, and they're just,
now, what is going to happen, sorry, I started a little early, but what's going to happen is the interviewer is trying to get Melania to say something negative about Donald.
Just a nice...
Did you pick it or did you go with him?
No, he picked it.
I picked it, but she and I have very similar taste. It's amazing. We have just similar taste.
And when we come back, I'm going to ask, he's such a formidable figure, if he's a controlling figure. We'll be right back with the Trumps on this edition of Larry King Live. And don't forget, the final
I don't think he's controlling.
3, that's right, third-year apprentice, is live Thursday night. We'll be right back.
So he's trying to say that, is he controlling?
The Trumps, Donald and Melania, okay. Is he a control freak?
I don't think he's a control freak. He's perfectionist.
Look it. Do you see that beautiful reframe? That was such a good girl game. Women, we got to take notes on this, okay? He said, do you think he's a control freak? No, he's a perfectionist. Guys, isn't that beautiful?
No, that's a slight difference. Does he make demands?
I don't think so. Maybe he makes demands in his business because he needs to. He's kind of a general. He needs to,
Look it. He said, is he demanding? No, he's a general. Wouldn't that be great, guys? You go home and your wife, she says, you're a general.
Have people in line, but not at home. We are very equal in the relationship, and that's very important. To marry a man like Donald is, you need to know who you are, and you need to be very strong and smart, and he needs to know that he could rely on me sometimes, and we share a lot of stuff together. I don't think he's a control freak at all.
Does he bring work home?
Yes, sometimes, but he's working all the time. Saturday, Sundays, he's playing golf, he's working all the time.
Doesn't it bother you?
No.
Do you see how quick she is? How many women would do a backhanded compliment? I would say, does it bother you? Well, no, she says, no, it doesn't. Try to get me to talk bad about my man, bitch. That's what she said. I'm just kidding.
It's his passion. He loves it. It doesn't bother me. I don't want to change him. I don't want...
That's beautiful. I don't want to change him.
To say, come home and, be with me. I don't want to change him. I want to give him a space. And I think that's very important in the relationship.
Because you used to tell me the one thing that troubled...
Do you think Trump, one in the chat, do you think Trump would accept his wife trolling him on Twitter? Trump's been married 3 times and has a more traditional relationship than any of these conservatives.
Troubled you about marriage was the feeling that you have to give up some of yourself, that you can't be the workaholic you are because of the demands of the nature of a relationship.
Yeah, I don't consider myself a workaholic. I mean, I work, but it's not work. It's like you. I mean, I love what I do, so it's no longer work. It's not like work. I mean, work to me is going on a 2-week vacation. If somebody said you have to go away for 2 weeks, you're going to Africa on a safari, there's not going to be any phones, you know what? You get me out of here, right? So that's to me.
Pearl, she could have simply responded by saying it was tongue-in-cheek. They made it the drama, not you. Thank you. Such an overreaction, my God.
Like, that would be work. But what Melania is so good at, we just have this natural relationship. It's like my mother and father. They were married 63 years. I've always heard you have to work at a good relationship. My father didn't work at a good relationship. He went home, he had dinner, he went to bed, he took it easy, he watched television. My mother, the same thing. She cooked them dinner. And it was just one of those things. It wasn't work, but I always heard you have to work at a...
You're not working at this.
No, because, look, I work very hard from early in the morning till late in the evening. I don't want to go home and have to work at a relationship. I mean, that's it. A relationship we have to work at it, in my opinion, doesn't work. So maybe I'm wrong.
Do you cook?
I cook sometimes. When we stay home and something very fast and, but we are out most of the time. So I don't really have, time to cook.
What is it like to have everything economically? By that I mean, you go down Fifth Avenue, you look in a window, like something, you can buy it. What's that like?
Well,
you don't have any financial pressure.
Yes, but you don't, I grew up, you always, taking care of the money. You're not like a, big spender, and you're saying like...
Okay, so we get the idea. Does that make sense, guys? What the difference? Okay, so let me go through a couple other examples of disrespect publicly. So the next example we got is Barack Obama. Now, Barack Obama, I really wasn't a fan of him, but he did work hard enough to become the most powerful man in the country, aka the president of the United States. All that hard work and sacrifice to become the president, and he's putting up with a disrespectful wife. At the inauguration of President Trump, Barack Obama showed up all by himself and was the only one whose wife didn't attend. Hillary Clinton attended. I think at this point, nobody really faults Bill for cheating. They're like, yeah, she's miserable. Yeah, I would have did the same, brother. Everyone understands now.
Ladies and gentlemen, former vice presidents, the Honorable Dan Quayle, accompanied by Mrs. Marilyn Quayle, and the Honorable Michael Pence.
And do you know what Melania proves? She was semi-nude. Someone said this in the chat. She did semi-nude photos. There's no semi-nude photos of Alyssa on the internet. There's no nudes, no nothing. And yet Melania is more traditional, even though her tits are on the internet, than Alyssa, because she knows her place. That's how hoes get wifed, because they study men, they understand them, and they know their role. And even though, okay, maybe not Melania, she's a queen, but sometimes they'll cheat, but half the time the men will love the girl more because she gave him a better experience all around than a nagging bitch. If the whore's really good to you for 6 months and then cheats, it's way better than a nagging wife that does, like, come on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 42nd President of the United States, the Honorable William J. Clinton, accompanied by the Honorable Hillary Rodham Clinton.
I forget they're married sometimes. I'd rather date a whore than some fake tradcon, preachy, mouthy, undercover feminist. Let me know in the chat. Well, who would you rather date? Melania's got nudes on the internet, or a woman with an account to troll you that doesn't have nudes on the internet?
By Mrs. Laura Bush.
Laura Bush seems like a delight. And now we got Barack Obama coming by him damn self.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 44th President of the United States, the Honorable Barack H. Obama.
There you go. There you go. Now, many people will say, well, Michelle hates Trump. But even if that's the case, she couldn't have gone to support her husband. It's a shame that Barack is the only president to show up without his wife. The Audacity Network. The link is in the description, and the disrespect is real. Next, we have J.D. Vance's wife. This is another man that comes from nothing and worked his way to the Senate and then the office of the Vice President of the U.S. at the Republican National Convention. Do you think the wife gave a speech that recognized his hard work and painted him as a masculine man? Of course not.
Gentlemen, please welcome Usha Vance.
To introduce my husband. Good evening. When I was asked to introduce my husband, J.D. Vance, to all of you, I was at a loss. What could I say that hasn't already been said before? After all, the man was already the subject of a Ron Howard movie. J.D. has shared much of his life through his own eloquent words. In his book, Hillbilly Elegy, during his Senate campaign, and now as a sitting United States Senator. It occurred to me that there was only one thing to do: to explain from the heart why I love and admire J.D. and stand here beside him today, and why he will make a great Vice President of the United States. I met J.D. in law school when he was fresh out of Ohio State, which he attended with the support of the GI Bill. We were friends first because, who wouldn't?
Okay, so now the first thing she's going to say is I friend zoned him. Bitch. No guy wants to be the guy that got out of the friend zone. He wants to be the guy that you let raw dog on the first date and said no to everyone else. That's what he wants to be. He wants to be the guy that you said no to every other person. Everyone else, you said no, 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 no. At least the men lie. Do you know what I mean? The men will say, I knew you were special when they DM'd 100 other women that day. Or, you were just the only one that said yes. Why can't we lie a little bit back? My God.
Wouldn't want to be
So she's starting with, I friend zoned him.
friends with JD.
They're trying to be funny. Why do I have to find your wives funny? Why? You guys are like, I feel like the conservative men have a gun to my face and they say, find my wives funny. And I say, I don't find them funny. And they're like, no, they're hilarious. And I'm like, I don't find them funny in the slightest.
He
wants to be the guy who railed you in an alley after buying you $1.50 McGriddle. Thank you, Shiv.
as now, the most interesting person I knew. A working class guy who had overcome childhood traumas that I could barely fathom to end up at Yale Law School. A tough Marine who had served in Iraq, but whose idea of a good time was playing with puppies and watching the movie Babe.
Did his enemies need to know? Remember, this guy is going to be in a military position. Does it make him look good to say that he likes to watch the movie Babe?
The most determined person I knew with one overriding ambition: to become a husband and a father, and to build the kind of tight-knit family that he had longed for as a child. My background is very different from JD's. I grew up in San Diego, in a middle-class community.
Now, what does she do? Make it about her. J.D. Vance has one of the coolest life stories ever. She's got 5 minutes to pitch this, and all she had to do was just make it about him. Tell his hero's journey, right? How awesome he is. Brave, strong. Sorry, I get the hiccups. So go.
With 2 loving parents, both immigrants from India, and a wonderful sister. That JD and I could meet at all, let alone fall in love and marry, is a testament to this great country. It is also a testament to JD, and it tells you something about who he is. When JD met me, he approached our differences with curiosity and enthusiasm.
Okay, again, did I meet him or did he meet me? It's subtle, but it tells you everything I need to know. Okay. Like if your girl met a celebrity, if Brad Pitt was in town and she met Brad Pitt at a coffee shop, she wouldn't say Brad Pitt met me. She would say, I met Brad Pitt. Oh my God, I met him today. What does it mean when they say they met me? It means I'm the more important one.
Enthusiasm. He wanted to know everything about me, where I came from, what my life had been like. Although he's a meat and potatoes kind of guy, he adapted to my vegetarian diet and learned to cook food from my mother, Indian food.
Look, so men do like doing nice things for us, right? But it takes it away a little bit when you use it to show how awesome you are to your friends. So if your guy buys you something and you're taking a picture and posting it on Facebook to brag to everyone, now it's just like a clout off, like a how cool can I look? Oh, he did so much for me, you know. You guys think these TradCon women, do you know what? I grew up around you hoes. Sorry. She's probably not a hoe, but I grew up around it. I know the subtle. I know it. I know all of this. Okay. Again, she had the chance to talk about him. What is she making about her?
Before I knew it, he had become an integral part of my family, a person I could not imagine living without. The JD I knew then is the same JD you see today, except for that beard. And
she had to do a backhand. Okay.
And his goals in this new role are the same that he has pursued for our family: to keep people safe, to create opportunities, to build a better life, and to solve problems with an open mind. It's safe to say that neither JD nor I expected to find ourselves in this position, but it's hard to imagine a more powerful example of the American dream. A boy from Middletown, Ohio. Raised by his grandmother through tough times, chosen to help lead our country through some of its greatest challenges. I am grateful to all of you for the trust you have placed in him and in our family.
Yeah. Now, she's not going around, she didn't make a Twitter account to troll her husband. She's not one of the worst. But, you know, as Doug MPA saying in the chat, this was her opportunity to say that he's a good man, a good leader, and he answered the call to serve his country. But she just couldn't do it. She had to make it about her. And now, last but not least, we have Alex Baldwin's wife. This was brutal.
It's the right time.
This is what, and you know, a lot of people on Twitter were saying this is normal, Pearl. Normal relationships, they make fun of each other. Okay, well, sexless marriages are normal. Fat wives are normal. Stopping weaponizing sex to get things that you want is normal. Belittling your husband, henpecking him, that's normal. Does that mean we should celebrate it? Does that mean it's a good thing? Okay. Okay, I gotta.
The Ilaria show.
Oh, wait, hold on. No, go to the beginning.
I think we're gonna.
There we go. Okay.
More of this. Season 2? Do we know anything?
The Ilaria show.
I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have it be out there.
It's gonna be great. You're a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why. Yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No.
That's divorce worthy.
It's the right choice. It's
Guys,
the right time.
you put up with way too much. You really do. I mean, if I was that guy, it would be filed by the time I got home. You guys accept anything. You guys are like, oh, but for the kids. Okay, well, what is your kid? At least your daughter can see you growing a pair. Do you know what I mean? Like, the kids are going to be ruined anyway. If they're in a household, right, where they're watching the dad get henpecked by the mom all day, now your daughter or your son is going to say, this is how a relationship's supposed to be. Now look at, she might steal those kids. I won't lie to you. She might. But, at least one day when your kid meets you, your son can see you banging a 20-year-old at 40. And he can say, my dad's awesome. Or your daughter can be like, you could show your daughter, look, act like your mom, get replaced by this hot, younger woman. Yeah, some of the greatest leaders of men are subservient to their wives. It's so crazy. I don't understand it. And this woman was a yoga instructor with a fitness video, and she does this to her husband. Now I got a couple things that have been normalized. Women bitching about their husbands on the internet. So this woman gets divorced after shaming her husband online. So she decided,
yeah, I know.
She decided, I want to vent to the internet, and she messed around and found out.
I can leave because trust me, I am leaving. But people can't just walk out and leave one day when you have kids and 12 years of life wrapped up together. You got to have a plan. You can't just walk away with nothing. You have to have a plan.
I'm just going to make a little update video because people have been asking. My husband left the night that I posted that original video.
But things changed drastically, and I'm feeling less than positive today. I am exhausted, and I'm just tired.
Hello guys, welcome to this episode. Today we will review a woman who got divorced by her husband for airing her private family matters on TikTok for her followers. The husband saw the video and left her for good. When people are sharing about their marriages on TikTok and are getting support for their atrocious behavior, you know society has gone insane. It's usually best to avoid dating anyone who spends that much time sharing their personal life over social media. Kindly help us grow by hitting the like button and subscribing. Let's get started.
So today is my 3-year wedding anniversary, and I can without a doubt say that this has been hands down the most depressing, miserable, horrible 3 years of my life. I have literally never been so depressed. I've never hated another person more than I hate the person that I married. While I run my ass off and I do everything for everybody in my life, like me, my kids, him, he goes to work and works enough. That's it. He works. Yeah, his job's hard. Yeah, his hours suck.
Martini says, love you from a twink. Thank you.
But he works. That is all he does.
Her husband works diligently to provide her with a comfortable life and protect her from the daily stresses that come with it, yet she often finds reasons to complain. Staying at home to take care of the kids is surprisingly easy. Preparing meals, doing a bit of laundry, and putting away dishes only take about 2 hours a day, and there's no commute to worry about. Let's say she goes grocery shopping once a week, and the rest of the day is spent enjoying time with the kids, which is more fun than challenging. However, it seems they always manage to express that life is tough, even when it's far from it. Let's continue.
I tried taking care of myself and went on a walk, but, when I started realizing I hadn't heard from him, I'm calling and calling and calling and begging for the bare minimum of him to watch our f***ing daughter. Excuse my language. I'm just so upset. To watch our daughter, to cut up a watermelon, and to make dinner. I am 30 years old, and I'm literally begging for the bare minimum every single day. I am a married single mom. That's what I am. Yeah, I don't work.
Why do you guys are married and calling yourself single mothers? Oh my God.
But the amount of weight I carry, I mean, I can tell you right now, the reason women...
I can see she does carry some weight. It's time to get on the treadmill, Chica. I see that double chin coming in.
Stay in shit relationships is one, because they don't have the means to leave financially, like a house. Two, the idea of a family. I can tell you why I've stayed. Money. It's that simple. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. He used to want me to be a stay-at-home mom. Now he just doesn't care because he doesn't care about anything.
She expects her husband to work hard to provide for the family, but at the same time, she wants him to take on the responsibilities of a stay-at-home dad. If he struggles to earn enough money, she will probably criticize him for being broke and not a good husband.
She needs to buy a mirror before she endangers her marriage.
He puts an extra effort to bring in more income so that she can stay home and ensure their family's financial security. She still complains that he's not around enough to help with household chores. How hard is being a stay-at-home parent compared to a regular job? This comment says, I can speak personally on both sides of this. I used to be the only provider and used to bring home the only paycheck. My wife used to complain about the kids even though when I got home I would help with them. Now she works and I help with the kids while working part-time, and now she complains I don't provide enough. I was a stay-at-home dad for about 6 months when I was laid off. My daughter was an infant. It was stupidly easy. I scheduled and multitasking.
I've heard this from so many guys where they thought that watching the kids was so hard. And then they did it and they're like, this is easy. What are they complaining about?
Past my days, I got all the stuff done and had free time where I could watch multiple hours of TV. Women are either lying about what they do for sympathy or they straight up suck at it. Took all the kids to school, cleaned the whole house in a couple of hours, picked up some groceries, and played video games or took a nap until picking up the kids in the afternoon. Feed them a snack, then dinner, and the rest is easy. Those couple of months were really an eye-opening experience because it was not hard at all.
And yeah, I know I can leave because trust me, I am leaving. But people can't just walk out and leave one day when you have kids and 12 years.
Did she not think her husband would see this?
Of life wrapped up together. You gotta have a plan. You can't just walk away with nothing. You have to have a plan. I mean, I'm trying so hard not to be bitter, but like, I've just never disliked somebody so much that I should love, that I just don't. In sickness and health, better or worse, like, no. Like, so destroy myself and my kids to keep a vow?
Thank you, Olive. Just supporting.
The irony is, once she gets that divorce, she gets to go back into the workforce, do an 8 to 12-hour shift, come home, and do the exact same thing she is complaining about. Make it make sense. Marriage these days is just nothing more but a bunch of burdens, financial
saved this for a therapist. Yikes.
hardship, mental strain, headaches, lack of
Hit that like button, guys. There's 800 in here. We should have at least 600 likes.
empathy for
it's free.
men in general, and a huge liability. In the comment section of her video, she got a lot of support from the women. Here are a few. The first comment says, manage the money in the household. Give him a cash allowance.
Oh my God. The women's advice. Do you see how tough it is as a woman? Now, I know what you guys are thinking, right? You're thinking, Pearl, she just told... What do you mean it's tough as a woman? It's tough as a man. Well, yeah, obviously. But women, it's like, we go to each other and it's like the blind leading the blind, right? This woman is advising her, like, she'll go... Now, this is a bad example, but you'll go to a woman to, like, console about your problems, right? And so you'll go and you'll be like... And then the woman will be like, leave him. Go fuck his best friend. Give him an allowance. It's like, yeah, you gotta go. And then it's like some of these women don't have dads. And then, do you know what's even worse? They like back each other up and then it just gets worse.
Allowance. Other than that, pretend he doesn't exist. Do for only you and the kids. Don't expect or ask him to do anything. Lawyer up and make a plan. When he started talking about having kids, I got a dog instead. He wouldn't help take care of it. He'd let the puppy soil itself right next to him in the living room. and not clean it up.
Okay, but that means you also let the puppy soil itself in the living room. You guys just seem like a dirty couple.
And so fast.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
It's better to admit you went through the wrong door than to spend your whole life in the wrong room, says the Shakespeare from Temu. If he doesn't check the bank account, start taking money and stash it away. He will never know. Think of it as paying yourself.
What the F is this chick stressed? All she had to do was make a couple of sandwiches and walk the kids. She's no hero. There are no housewives in foxholes.
For being a maid, chauffeur, cook, or accountant. The biggest red flag is that she's making this all public and then letting these idiots on TikTok determine how she's going to handle it rather than thinking for herself and having some respect for the relationship and her spouse. Well, the guy did the Lord's work and dealt with her like he should. Let's have a look.
I'm just going to make a little update video because people have been asking. Ignore my stuffy voice. I have like some kind of cold going on, like a head cold. But my husband left the night that I posted that original video. I can't remember the timeline. He had stayed here twice. One night that I was here because it was just late. And then another night, why I didn't stay here. Other than that, he's been gone. I think he was here like during the day once or twice while I wasn't here. He needs to get his stuff still. He hasn't did that.
One of the saddest aspects of this entire
Yes, roulette wheel. My channel is monetized. Thank you for the super chat.
Expedition is that after she finished sharing about her family, no one seemed to care and simply moved on with their lives. She now has to confront the reality of her actions and the part she played. Imagine
Carlos on the website, starting to get why in the Middle East they don't allow women to talk. Hot sun, no AC, and all that nagging. Thank you for the insight, Carlos.
Imagine having enough free time to go online and complain about your spouse while every single thing in your life is taken care of by that same person. One of the most important rules for a relationship is not to publicly air your issues. You should get counseling or have a private and confidential third party to handle issues. You should never talk poorly about your spouse and your relationship with others if you haven't.
Okay. Yeah. Now we got another one. A woman saying she wasn't attracted to her husband.
So the creator that's getting.
Men and women, we both lie. Can we just, I'm going to be honest with you guys in the chat. Men lie and women lie. Now, how do men lie? Now, what men will do is they'll go for the hottest woman that they can get, right? So they'll go in high school, they'll say, let me go for that hot woman. And then they'll get brutally rejected, right? And they're like, okay, that didn't work. And then, so then they go a little lower. They go for the second hottest woman, right? And then they're like, they get brutally rejected, or maybe they get they simp for her, right? And so they simp, maybe they get a brutal marriage or whatever. And it just doesn't work out. And that doesn't work. And ladies, he's with you because you're the best that he could do. And it usually kind of goes like this. You know a guy's ready to settle down when he goes like 1 or 2 notches uglier than he normally goes, right? So like he'll bang an 8, he'll bang a 9. And then like they obviously like it's just a one-time thing because the 9 is like, I'm going to go do better. And so then they get like a 6 and they're like, good enough, or a 5 and they're like, good enough. But they don't tell us that, right? They're not going to say, look, my ex was way better in bed. Or my ex is just like, she was way hotter than you, but you're nicer to me, so good enough. You know, now, there's exceptions to this rule. I mean, some men do marry the hottest woman they've ever been with, but like, that's not the rule. Like, let's just be honest. Now, Brandon Daniels, I'll look at your thing, Doug. Now, the way women lie is, women kind of go through the same thing, right? Women go for hotter and hotter and hotter, and that's how they get alpha widow. The difference is men can be like content. So they're like, when they say good enough, they mean it, right? So when they find a mid that's nice to them and like cooks them a meal now and then, they're actually content. They actually mean it. Where the women, they really don't mean it. And so, but the difference is the men like keep it to themselves. They know to lie. They'll say, you're the most beautiful woman in the world. You're so special. I always knew it was you. Liars. You were just the woman that said yes, was easy enough and nice enough. But they're not going to say that, right? The women, now some guys, you know, it's just not like immediate for us. Like we do become attracted to, but it takes time. But men don't want to know that, right? They want to be the guy that you said no to him, and him, but him, you let raw dog on the first date after a cheeseburger for $1.50 in the alleyway. Do you know how much of a legend they would be to their friend group if all of their friend group hit on this said chick? She said, no, not you, not you, not you, not you. And then him, you're like, you gave no rules for. He's going to be a legend. So what they do is the women will say, I wasn't attracted to him, which we all know what that means. And men will accept this, right? They'll be like, do you know what? Maybe she wasn't attracted to me at first, but like, I did like her, and you know, she's a good mom, and she's a good person. Whatever, it's fine. I'll get over it. But now they're bragging about it. They're bragging. Oh wait, hold on.
To the creator that's getting dragged on here for not being attracted to her husband when they first met, same. Me too. Seriously, I totally get where you're coming from, and I'll just tell you how we met real quick. Basically, I had been out of prison for like a year, and I saw him, like I met him through some mutual friends. And
apparently Tim Pool responded to my tweets. Can we guess, is he going to have simped or not simped? Whose side is he going to be on? We already know.
Like,
but maybe he'll surprise me.
He's like kind of cute, but he was like, I'm tall and he's tall, but he's like really tall, and he was like super skinny at the time, and awkward, and just super like not a whole lot of social skills. He's also a country boy. Grew up farming, tractors, all that. He could like fix anything. But yeah, he's just really awkward and strange. And I was like, this is never going to work. Like, also he was a corrections officer at the time, like, which is really weird because I had already been out of prison for like a year. So yeah, basically we're just like complete opposites, and I don't know, it took about like 9 months for us to actually like date after we had like seen each other like in groups, you know, groups of friends a couple times, and then finally I was like, okay, like I'll give it a shot, I guess. And when I like did, he like didn't even know I existed. Like I was nowhere on his radar. He was completely like oblivious that I was even like.
Joel, thank you for the super chat. Just showing support. Going back to the Audacity chat now. Thank you, Joel.
Thinking about anything like that, right? So yeah, I get it. Like, I just wasn't like, he was awkward. I don't know how else to explain it. And I was like this. You know.
He got friend zoned by a felon. Can you imagine, guys? What an L. And not only that, she's bragging about this L.
I don't know. Coming out of prison, I was just coming from the streets to prison, and then coming home, and then meeting him like a year later. I was like, no, this is just definitely not going to work. But it did, and we've been together for almost 8 years now.
Okay, now this is the practical advice women give each other behind the scenes, right? Go to your friend zone, give the guys a shot. You might actually have a good marriage that comes out of it. Here's the practical advice men give each other behind the scenes. Look, I know she's hot, but you might want to get a less good-looking girl so they don't have as much of an ego. Now the mids are starting to get ego. It's over. It's over. Okay. I want to see what Tim Pool said. Let's see. I'm going to look it up now. Tim Pool. Oh, no, this other crazy woman is on.
saw that it had 10:07.
Where can anyone give me a timestamp? Let's see. Not there. Was it today or yesterday? And then I'm gonna accept. And then I'm gonna let Collins. Oh my God, she looks so old. I am gonna accept Collins. Is it here? I don't. Wait, let me look in the other chat. Oh, thank you, Roulette Wheel. Tim Pool, okay. Is it yesterday, maybe? Let's see. Can someone message me on Twitter the timestamps in the video? And I'll pull it up. Live. I'll look yesterday.
Distancing themselves from...
Let's see. Not there. I'm looking for during the live streams, the part where the screen is white. Yeah, I don't see it. Don't see it. Well, feel free to send it. Otherwise, I'll react. I might, so I'm going to allow you guys to call in. If we could put the call-in link in the chat. To give a preface, also, Law of Self-Defense is calling in. So if you want to let him go first, if you see him, or after Doug MPA. But I may stop the call if you guys can find the link for me. Because I don't know where this is on here. And they just have too much content for me. Just don't get copyright strike by them. They won't. I don't think Tim's a little bit of a simp, but I don't think he's like a bad guy. I couldn't see him like copyright striking anyone. Can a normal chick that watches call in? I doubt it. Pearl, I'll find it. Send me the link. Well, I just looked at Tim Pool, so I don't know if Law of Self-Defense, Shiv, or Doug MPA are in there. You can let them up first. Those are 3 people. Oh, and Glenn too. Doug MPA, how's it going?
It's going good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So what, am I crazy for this take? I mean, why are conservatives freaking out at me?
I've known Pearl a long time, everyone. And Pearl has a literal hatred for fake trad cons. I can hear in her voice when she talks about it. That's why I love when she covers it, because there's a certain kind of passion that comes out. With Pearl's upbringing and the way that she's an actual conservative, the way that she stands by her beliefs. And when you see people that are literally faking it for clout, it just gets Pearl enraged. I love to see it. And also, follow Pearl on X, guys, because Pearl gets the party started over there.
Yeah, I do.
She's literally the only reason why I'm on X is to watch her mess with all these trad cons. So your take is perfectly fine. In the chat earlier, someone said that this whole thing started with all the sitcoms in the 70s and the 80s with the Homer Simpsons and the wives that had to save their husbands from themselves. And now that type of misandry is literally built into the fabric of America. So liberal women and trad cons will belittle their husbands, humiliate their husbands in public. It's become part of our culture. It's literally planned to be this way. There's a cultural shift in the 80s, in the 90s, and now it's commonplace. So no, your take is perfectly fine. I think you're onto something. these women, they have to feel being just the wife and a mother to a man of means. Being a wife to a man of means and the mother of his children is not enough for liberal women and tradcon women. They have to feel important, and their idea of showing some kind of agency is making fun of their husbands and trashing their husbands.
Yeah, I totally agree. Give me 1 second. Would you mind putting them in the waiting room and bringing them on one at a time? Yeah. So it's not, yeah, if you don't mind. I want to know if Tim Pool simped out. I'm so curious, but I wasn't sure what he said. But it's so crazy because a lot of the disrespect is very subtle. But what's baffling to me is that Matt Walsh is like dying on the hill of being disrespected. Can you let Law of Self-Defense come up first? Okay. And then we'll go on to the next ones.
Make sure to go follow Law of Self-Defense's channel. He's awesome.
Yeah.
I've been putting it in the chat. I'll put it in again, but make sure to follow this channel.
Yeah. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. How did I get to be first?
Well, I told you to call in, so if I tell people to call in, I try to. So what did you think? Am I crazy for thinking that's disrespectful, or?
You know, we live in a world of psychosis. All these people, psychosis, of course, being a detachment from reality. Like if you believe there's like a purple dragon in the room with you, and that purple dragon's just as real to you as all the furniture, everything else. These people live in just this imaginary world. And that's why feminism can exist. That's why tradcon women who are all over the internet, when it's always making it all about them, their man is always kind of an NPC support character that orbits around them. It's almost like he's a piece of jewelry that they put on and off as convenient to them. Now, I do want to say, I don't know anything about Matt Walsh's marriage. I hope it's very happy and they're happily married forever and they have a fantastic life. The only encounter I've ever had with Matt Walsh was about his delusional expectations of modern marriage a couple of years ago. Yeah, these people are living really a fundamentally psychotic life. And when it encounters reality, that's when it breaks.
So would you be okay with your wife making a Twitter account to troll you? Would that be something you would allow?
No. I mean, it's just unimaginable. It would be like if we were at the grocery store and my wife just got up on some kind of soapbox and started insulting me in front of the whole grocery store. I mean, it's something that just would never happen. And not that I'm perfect, and not that me and my wife don't have things that we disagree about from time to time, but it would never be in public, and certainly not on the internet.
So why do you think women feel entitled to disrespecting their husbands in public?
Because they mistakenly believe that they're the superior partner in the relationship. And maybe in their relationship, they are the superior partner. And that's what's happening. Their husband may not know. He may think he's wearing the pants in the house, but he's not. You can tell by the woman's conduct.
Yeah. So what was the worst instance you've ever had of a girlfriend or wife disrespecting you in public?
Oh, I had it happen quite a bit in my first marriage.
We got to learn from that one, right?
It's very funny. You were talking earlier about marriage counselors and how terrible they are. And I went to so many marriage counselors in my first marriage trying to fix that train wreck. And all of them, well, of course, they were all women, so it was horrific.
I was about to ask, but you said it. I was about to ask.
Yeah. And finally, I said, listen, why are they always women? And my ex-wife said, oh, I'll find a guy marriage counselor. So she did. She said, oh, I found a guy marriage counselor. Must have been our 13th one. And so I said, you know what? The internet had just started then. I'm like, I'm gonna Google this guy. And this one male marriage counselor she found had written a whole series of books about how husbands suck. The problem is always the husband. So she found that one marriage counselor. The one advice I would give everybody out there is if you're in marriage counseling, just get divorced. It's over.
Well,
yeah, that's so true.
Tom Mikas back in the day said that there's two last stops to your marriage counseling, and then that they used to have those adult stores where you can go and buy like adult stuff to try to spice up your marriage. If your wife wants you to go to the the marriage counselor or go to the adult store to try to spice up your love life, it's over. You get divorced.
She's probably already banging some other dude.
She's like, I want you to do the stuff he's doing.
Right. That's the other thing you say that's so funny. I mean, of course, when I was coming up and dating and all this stuff in college, it was a long time ago. It was the 80s and 90s. And you know, we were doing things, we didn't have all this terminology, right? Like what's an alpha widow and what's a Chad and all this kind of stuff. Looking back now, I'm like, holy crap, I was that guy. I was the Chad. I was just banging chicks and forgetting. I didn't even remember their names. I mean, it was a great time to be alive, the 1980s. It was fantastic. And we didn't have to carry any guilt because we didn't have any of this terminology. But you mentioned these chicks who are like, well, they make the guy wait, or they make the guy beg, or the guy has to jump through all these hoops before they can get her into bed. Gentlemen, if she's into you, she will do everything for you. She will do everything for you. If she's not doing that, she's just not into you.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because a lot of the tradcons, they'll just like tell you, like they publicly tell everyone that their wife wasn't into them. Like Ben Shapiro had a clip about how he begged his wife to marry him. And I'm like, why would you tell people that? Lie. It's time to hide it, you know?
And by the way, nobody's for everybody, right? So if I was dating, when I was dating, if I encountered a chick and she was like lukewarm, I would just move along.
Yeah.
I'm not investing any money in that, any time in that. But fortunately, there were enough chicks who were not lukewarm that it was harmless to let those little fishies swim away.
Right.
I want to ask Law, Self-Defense, and Pearl something. So, in certain parts of the red pill, they say, you know, if a woman sleeps with you on the first night, she's a whore, right? But then you kind of want to be the guy that she wants to sleep with on the first night because you don't want to wait. So, do we have to reevaluate that if she sleeps with you on the first night, that she's a whore? Because,
you know, I think a pretty reasonable compromise is the old 3-date rule. So I think if you take her out a couple times, you get to that third date, and then you close the deal, I think that's fine. I never had a problem with that. And then you don't have to worry that she's just sleeping with everybody on the first date, at least. Probably sleeping with everybody on the third date, but whatever. You know, this is the reality we live in.
What do you think, Pearl?
I think it's dependent on how much she's into you. I think women make some guys wait and they make some guys not. And the guys that think women always make you wait are good women or just never been that guy. So, you've just never been it for her. Sorry.
Or they'll sleep with you and it's a very, how can I put it? It's a very limited experience. And she's not into you.
Yeah.
And I just want to say a lot. Self-defense, I would say, tell me if you agree with this, because I think that tradcon fake women are worse than feminists, because nature always marks its poisonous and dangerous stuff as weird shapes and bright colors. So feminists, you can see them coming because they have the purple hair with the piercings and the tattoos, so you can see them coming. But fake tradcons, it's hard to see them coming.
I mean, the whole thing just has a very fake vibe to it, right? It's like if these women came out wearing like French gowns from the Napoleonic era, you'd say, what are you doing? That's not real. And they act like they're very traditional people, but we're not a traditional society.
Right.
They talk about their faith, but religious faith today in America is not a traditional faith. Maybe 5% of it is. I mean, I go to church with my family every week. We had to work really hard to find a church that was not just outright feminist. And the one we found, at best, I would say it's lukewarm, but it was the best that we could find. And we live near Denver. I mean, it's a pretty large city. So a lot of these churches are just simply completely co-opted by the feminists. There's no traditional morality or constraints there. Women are chaos. Women by nature are chaos. And for all of human existence, society, through religion and other means, put constraints around women's power or sexuality. They had to, or the world would go crazy. And then 100 years ago, we just decided to take all those constraints off. And look what's happened. The world's gone crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, all these things we're saying, when you imagine that for 10,000 years of human history, women were not allowed to make societally important decisions. They just weren't. And then 100 years ago, we said, fuck it. Let's try it.
Yeah, it's like the original sin was simping. Yeah, I don't know. I can't go into that too much. I just got remonetized. Well, thank you very much for calling in. Can you tell the people where they can find you?
You can find me on YouTube. I have a channel too, Law of Self-Defense. You'll find me there. I do a lot of politics, do a lot of self-defense law stuff, obviously. And yeah, join me. Subscribe. Trying to get to 1 million subscribers this year.
Yes, we are. See ya. Thank you.
Take care.
You can put Leor or Joel and Leor. What's up, guys?
You're on mute. Unmute.
Holla. Hey.
Hey, Pearl.
Hey, Pearl.
What are your I know you guys have thoughts. Lay it on me.
Well, thanks for reaching out. I'll just go real quick and then Joel will take the reins, just because you and I were chatting a little bit about this. And, you know, it's always the sisterhood that gangs up on you. So just like, let it be known that there are women out there who are led by patriarchal men who are not falling for this BS. And you sent me the link, and I was immediately, first thing I did, I went to her profile and I saw her profile picture and I was like, what the heck? You know, like you can always tell right away, but like, what is with the smolder lady? Like she's in a car, her face is done up. She's like doing a duck face by herself. Like, ma'am, put a picture that is appropriate for a wife and a mother of a public figure. And then there's that like whole concept of the public figure. Like, is this, Doug said it yesterday, really briefly at the end, but it's about optics. Now, husbands and wives, they tease each other, you know, behind closed doors, that's fine. But like, you know, the ratio, Joel teased me like 10 times and I'll tease him once. You know, this isn't a lifestyle practice of like teasing your husband and making it part of your brand. Imagine the guy's like, my sole purpose is to troll my wife on X. Women would lose it. What? I can't believe it. He's supposed to make a safe space for her. He's supposed to cradle her and love her and support and nurture her. It's a transgender relationship.
No,
the irony for Matt Walsh. Sorry, go ahead.
No, and I sent it to you because I was like, I think I'm going nuts. Like, because all the response is so crazy. But keep going.
It's extremely ironic that Matt Walsh, one of his like foundation, you know, core tropes is the transformer agenda. Excuse me. And his marriage is like totally like that. I mean, when a woman is by herself and her brand is taking pot shots at her husband, is getting giggles at your husband's expense, it's emasculating, it's insulting. And, you know, with that example of her like mocking about his fly down, Joel and I saw that, and Joel was like, that's not funny. Like, guys have traumatizing experiences of being busted with their fly down. I thought, imagine a guy texted his wife that she was on national television and she had like lipstick on her teeth while she was smiling, or she was, you know, just had a kid and her breasts were lactating and going through her shirt. Like, she would be mortified. And then he just shared it online. It's just ridiculous. And the one thing I said, and I'll end it here, is that, you know, Matt was like, no, I find it funny. It's hilarious. It's a sense of humor. You know, he'll find it funny until it's not funny anymore, until she makes a joke that embarrasses him. And then he's going to have to backtrack this. And like women, very much like children, we always push the envelope. So having the standard of like, oh yeah, you can just take pot shots at me publicly. That's your brand. Ha ha, chum chum. It's very egalitarian. It's very equal. There's clearly not a sense of reverence in his frame as a husband. He's a public figure. Like, I'm tired. It's a grift. You know, I'm tired of, like, I've never heard Matt Walsh talk about submission. Not once. I've never heard him talk about submission. Like I've never heard Candace Owens talk about submission. What are they mutually submitting? That's not a thing. So speaking of Candace, like red line theory, green line theory, just to put a picture of her in Georgia up, and he's like, hee, and I see all the time now. But you know, I don't see him actually making patriarchal talking points. So that's all you need to know.
And also, I would say that his wife is setting a precedent that Matt Walsh can be trolled and shouldn't be taken seriously.
Yeah.
It's like, if other people troll you, I mean, your own wife trolls you, bro. So why are you getting mad at me for doing it? You know?
Yeah. Pearl, great episode. This episode was clutch. You literally hit this topic from every different angle, like perfectly to the T. I'm 37. I've been noticing this my entire life, and men, they notice it. They know it's wrong, but like they're not practicing skill with articulating it and calling it out. And if they do, they'll get terrorized by women for noticing it and mentioning it. But this would never happen the other way around. Like just imagine if it was the other way around. Like a man's like, oh yeah, my whole ex account exists to troll my wife. Ha ha ha! This is so funny. Ha ha! And all the women would freak out. Oh my God, he's supposed to be empowering me and loving me. And oh my God, this is horrible and disrespectful. He made the documentary, What is a Woman? And the irony is he's in a trans relationship himself. Like the most important part is on the inside. Matt Walsh, the Daily Wire, I had never been a fan of the Daily Wire because they've always been so beta, so pathetic, so feminist. Not a single one of them is teaching patriarchy. So if you're not teaching and applying patriarchy, you are a feminist. Republicans have been feminists for a long time, and this was a perfect example. Great job, Pearl. Same.
Yeah, and why do you think they allow their wives to get away with it?
They're afraid. They're cowards. They're afraid their wife's going to terrorize them every day in their own home.
It's for the schmonies.
Or divorce them and leave them in alimony, child support, steal their kids, ruin their life.
They should just, I'm like, why do you guys put up with this stuff? I mean, it's better to be alone in an apartment in a mattress than with these crazy women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna ask you two, why is it that a woman like Alyssa Walsh, who has 6 children and is married to a man who is successful and gives her the means to be able to take care of 6 children, why is being his wife and the mother of his children not enough? What happened?
Feminism.
How do we get here?
I think like women are so covetousness of the abilities of men, and men can replace women in basically every aspect that they contribute to society, and women can't do that in response. So they're always overcompensating.
That. They're always projecting. So projecting is when you just lie. You say the opposite of what's true. So women need men, but men don't need women. So that's why women go around saying all the time, "Oh, we don't need men. Oh, we don't need men." Really, why in 6,000 years has there never been a female-only society? Go ahead and do all the things that men do. Build your own military. Do all the construction work. Where are the female societies in history? They don't exist. Why hasn't feminism popped up throughout all of history before? It's because it can't exist. And we say it all the time. We're going to say it again. Pearl was so proud of you for starting to say it. Is that women are the eldest children in the home. And so the same dynamic that happens between a mom and a child, that's the exact dynamic that should happen between a husband and a wife. And if women aren't oppressing their children, then men aren't oppressing women either. The exact same dynamic in every single way.
Yeah.
And just when women start getting traction on this whole "we don't need men" thing, something happens, like a war over in the eastern part of the world somewhere where all the women got to run away and all the men had to fight. Imagine that.
Yeah, equality just magically went out the window. Yeah, exactly. When it came to the war in Ukraine, precisely. If you don't have an obligation in defending the country, you don't get a say in how it's ran.
Yeah.
And you don't have to defend it. You don't get to vote. The privilege of voting comes with the obligation of the draft. Simple as that.
Joe,
go ahead, Pearl.
What is the worst instance you've had of a woman disrespecting you publicly?
Me? Oh gosh, quite a few to list. Quite a few to list. They all did. Everywhere from my mom to my former longest relationship, before Lior, what, the last one is too traumatizing. I'm not even going to say, but yeah, women live a lifestyle of disrespecting men. So it's so amazing that they demand respect for men. But so respect, either women don't know what words mean, or they're purposely using it in a trans way. Respect is something you do to someone in authority, right? You're supposed to respect God. You're supposed to respect your boss. You're supposed to respect your dad. You're supposed to respect your husband, right? Children are supposed to respect their mom. So you're supposed to respect someone who is either an authority over you or someone who's extremely admirable. Right. So men are required to love women as long as women are doing what they're supposed to do. Right. So as soon as a woman's like, "Oh, I'm not obeying you." Okay, cool. I don't have to love you. Bam. Look at that. It's conditional, but But yeah, I pretty like until Lior, I was disrespected by probably all women my entire life, and then it was only once I set the tone when we were dating early on, I was like, I'm not going to tolerate it. As soon as I see one incident that you're out, and that's going to last for life, and then that's the only time that it didn't happen actually. So,
wow. Do you have any other questions, Doug MPA?
I want to ask the lady, what is your name?
Lior?
Lior? Okay. You've had friends that are women your whole life. So you've probably seen some friends do some crazy stuff to men in public. So what was the craziest thing you've ever seen a woman do to disrespect her husband or her boyfriend in public? Or did you not hang out with those kind of girls?
Well, I was always kind of like a loner and a tomboy, so I really didn't. I didn't go to college. I didn't really go to a lot of these scenes, but I certainly saw my mother disrespect my father a lot, and you know what? I think what I used to see most is like women correcting their husband publicly, kind of like what we saw with Alex Jones's wife. It's like, no, you didn't need to say that, honey. What you meant to say like this. Like, I don't think that's real. What he meant to say was na. So it's like, the women are always trying to posture the husband because they can't stand the feeling of his inferiority because it's just, they're drenched in it. We're inferior. Deal with it, ladies. So, but because it's like an unflattering thing, I want to be powerful. I want to power. Like, whenever you notice, like, power is not something that like most people should seek, especially not women. So when women are using that term a lot, like just immediately, that's the red flag going up. So they're like, that's not empowering. Like, bitch, who says that you need to feel powerful? Like, you need to feel humble. Like,
if you power, you're evil. Exactly. Don't we think Adolf Hitler was evil because he wanted power? Wasn't Satan evil for wanting power? If you want power, you're evil. Like with men, like the only power that they have is like just a whole life of obligation. Oh yeah, you have the power to protect and die for me. That's where your power. You have the power to enslave, work, and provide for me. Blah blah blah. So like when men have a position of power, it's always like in servitude for the benefit of people below them. It's not just for their own like glory, etc. But for women, it definitely is. So anyone who wants power is evil, full stop. And what do you know? All women want to be empowered today. Yeah. What does that tell you?
Men realize that the power comes with tremendous responsibility for the people beneath them. And women are just like, no, it's just like about me. Once I got the power, I got the power. Like, they're obsessed with it. That was is that a woman singing? Actually, that could be a guy falsetto. I'm not sure about that, but
No, this one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's been going on for a while, and before we hop off, Pearl, you're doing such an amazing job, and one thing you talk a lot about is like the radical acceptance, and we can't change anything, and we shouldn't even bother. But I don't think you really believe that. I think that if you weren't troubled by this and if you didn't want to see something change, we wouldn't be having this show. We wouldn't be having this conversation. Sometimes, like, we love you to pieces, and this is sometimes you say like I can't see that happening in my life. Well, a lot of stuff happened in our lifetime that we did not imagine seeing. Like, I didn't imagine seeing publicly admitting that they're porta potties, that they let people poop on them. I didn't expect to see people. I did not expect that. I did not expect people cutting off their bodily organs. I did not expect to see that in my lifetime. Joel, growing up, Massachusetts got like gay marriage. We did not. His people. I grew up in Massachusetts, so I'm a fair bit. I'm like 6 years younger than Joel, but like. He did not expect the United States as a sweeping statement to have gay marriage everywhere. So just because we can't imagine something maybe in the immediate future doesn't mean it's not possible. And
I hope it does. I'm a betting woman.
4% of women were feminists in 1920, right? Feminism had never existed in history before, right? Women never had the privilege of voting without the obligation of the draft. But because 4% of women unified, put all their differences aside and unified, they were able to change it for everyone else, So I think if we can get just half of conservative men, or even less, that's 12%, 41 million men, I think we could change things. I think we could change things tomorrow. I think the only thing holding men back is like, oh, first of all, like put your religious differences aside. You're never going to be on the same page. It doesn't matter. Unify on patriarchy alone. So unify, number one, men are really bad at that. Unify, and then once you're unified, then you can organize and do a plan. But we could change this tomorrow if we had the willpower, if we had the unity.
You know, Joe and
So don't preemptively demoralize yourself in your own brain. It's literally just a matter of will. If women could literally, if they could actually bring about matriarchy when it never existed before, you better believe that guys can reestablish patriarchy when it was the only game in town for 6,000 years.
I'll send him to you, Joel.
Thank you.
I'll say he's got a plan.
Thanks, bro. We changed our name on our YouTube. It's Joel and Lior now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for calling in. It's a pleasure as always. Calling
I'm gonna
anytime.
put you guys' channel in the chat.
We're going to visit. We're going a tour of the White House. I gotta say this just because you know who knows who's watching, but we're getting a tour of the White House on May 3rd, and I'm just hoping that Trump's there. That could be like, yo, Trump, supplication.
Get these Trump. Why are you hiring Trump? Trump, why are you hiring all these women?
Thanks for having us, Pearly.
Bye.
Love you, girl.
Bye. Thanks so much. Let's see what else we got. All right. I think Sean was on first, so you can do him next. What's going on, Sean?
What's good? What's good?
You called in.
Yeah. I told you I was going to call in. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
What did you think of the show? What did you, I know you don't want to get married, but let's say you did. Could she have a Twitter account trolling you?
Look at the look on his face. He already said everything he needs to say.
Yeah, right, man.
You're
Stop
not
trying to set me up, Pearl. You see how she tried to do me, Doug?
You're not about
man.
that? You don't want to, your wife, you don't want her to make fun of you all day?
Come on, cut it out. There's other jokes to life, like you said, right? You don't have to disrespect me, for the joke, like that's not good to go. Yeah, and it's funny because these same individuals often talk about like woke Hollywood, and just when you look at, media and how, men are always the butt of the joke and it's the woke virus. And then it's like, bro, but your wife be doing that to you. Like on Twitter. Like, so everybody can see it.
That's a really good point.
So I think it's like that doesn't make much sense, right? Like, and again, sometimes these guys, man, their household is crazy. But like I said, I get disgusted. It hurts me in my stomach when I feel that type of stuff. Like when a girl try to joke on me or something, like kind of like the previous caller said, like, it's just not how power is supposed to be. That's not how hierarchy goes. You don't make me the butt of the joke. That's not what we do over here. And I loved Melania Trump's and how she was interacting. And you see that guy, he tried to pressure her so much to like say something bad about him. Like, bro, people are really anti-marriage.
That's how she got into the White House with nudes on the internet. Like she has full frontal. You can Google her boobs, and all she had to do, like it's funny because the TradCon women, it's like you wonder you're like, how do these whores get wifed? And it's like because they paid attention to what men respond to. Like that's how she has nudes on the internet and is in the White House. She said, you know what? I don't think men like being made fun of. I think they
no.
Let me stay in shape, stay hot, and not make fun of him. Boom, White House.
And there's like a very small percentage that do. I've seen some guys operate like that. Like, I had a Brazilian girl, she was very submissive. She didn't speak much around like when I was with the other men I knew. And she was like, well, women are supposed to speak with women and men speak amongst men. That's what I'm taught in my culture. I was like, bet, cool, say less. And my friend, he was like, man, I don't like your girl. I don't like her. I'm like, what? Why? He's like, she don't talk. She don't joke with us. She don't make fun. She don't. And I'm like, bro, she's not a homie.
Was she attractive too?
Yeah, she was attractive. Heck yeah.
Because men and women can't stand attractive women who don't talk.
Ah, yeah, I see what you're saying.
It's weird.
But he he just liked relationships where his girl joked on him. Like, you know, they made jokes about each other and she said, like, you look ugly today. Like, he enjoyed that. But for me, I'm like, nah, man, I want my
Yeah.
girl to just be quiet.
I have a question for Sean and Pearl. So, do you? But okay, if you're getting to know a woman and she starts doing that joking back and forth kind of thing on you, should a man believe that that's part of her character, and leave the first couple of times, or do you think that if he's that guy, he can correct that behavior? So if you meet a woman and she's kind of jonesing on you and kind of poking at you, do you think that the guy should leave her behind at the first couple of instances, or should he put his foot down and stick in there and try to see if that's a pattern of behavior or not? What do you think?
You want to go, Pearl, or do I?
I think most men are just gonna leave. Like I think they're gonna look at it as too much work. Blame her parents or whoever the hell said that was okay. I don't know. I think people can put on a mask, and like maybe change the behavior short term. But if that's how you were raised and that's your character, you know, I don't really see it going away.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree 100%. Like, I had that experience before. Somebody always asks me, like, man, why are your girls always like this? I'm like, nah, because you never see the girls I delete, I swipe left on. Like, you never see them. So that's why you think I always got it right. Now, there's girls who come at me and they'll be like joking. And I wouldn't say much because I don't fight against it. I'm just like, I'll just step off to the left. There's no reason for me to combat you. So I think it's easier for men just to walk away than try to convert and change, because even if you make the change, people are going to adjust to what you tell them to adjust to. And then they're going to, on the back end, say, oh, you changed me. I used to be so jokey and my family saw me as a big jokester. But ever since I got with you, I haven't been able to say the same jokes. So you're going to be the villain at the end of the day if you do it. So just walk away.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. Because
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I would say the two greatest superpowers a man has is being able to walk away and then being able to determine who your girlfriend, fiance, and wife is if you choose to get married. Don't ever let anyone take those two powers away from you.
Woo, spitting facts, Doug. Yeah, exactly. And JD, you ain't got my vote, man. Just because your wife, she was talking about you crazy. You ain't got my vote, man.
You saw that, right? She was literally, oh, look what he did for me.
He got to be impeached, man, just off of that alone. Like, come on. Come on. And then she tried to say something like, yo, she's super Indian, because she said something like, because of her family and where she came from, she was like, look how great America is. A guy with his poor family background could get with somebody like me.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
And
man.
he
Like,
became
she
an
was just
integral
better.
part of my family. He became a part of my family. And he became
was
a
cooking
vegan.
in an apron, and he was cooking my mama. He was naked in the, like, come on, man. Like, she was playing JD big time, man. I'm like, yo, he's a combat veteran, ain't he?
Yeah. Yep. Two tours in Iraq, Marine Corps.
Two tours. And then my picture walking away thinking about JD is in some apron that say, kiss me, I love Indian food. Like, come on, man.
But the sad part about it is, Pearl and Sean, Big Mike has said so much worse about Barack. She literally put in a book that for the first 10 years of their marriage, she hated him. She literally put that in a book. It's crazy.
I'm not
man.
surprised, bro.
It's crazy. Get yourself a Melania and not a Big Mike, guys. Get yourself a Melania and not a Big Mike.
This kind of black.
And I knew.
No,
go ahead, bro.
This kind of sorry. It kind of black-pilled me because they got 38,000 likes on Matt Walsh's post. I got ratioed so hard on this, and I'm like, I don't care. I know I'm not crazy. Like, I'm like, I got 1,000 on mine, and he got 38,000. I got ratioed 38-1. That's how blue-pilled America is.
Super blue-pilled. Like, I remember you talked about the website before. I think it was called Gynocentricism.
Yeah,
remember that website?
Yeah.
Yeah, it had them articles of Japanese travelers, like, man, the American henpecked men. It was just like, man, we always been on that tip, just just doing nonsense like that. And it ain't nothing new. It's like American men been doing that. I remember Robert Kiyosaki said the same thing. He went to Japan and the Japanese guys was like, you ain't got no concubines? He was like, huh? No, I love my wife. They're like, what? You
Well,
got
Top
money.
G
You
said that
supposed to.
in one of his latest interviews when he was in Miami. He was on some show. I don't remember which one, but he said it's only the men in the West that take this.
Yeah,
Eastern
bro.
Europe, African continent, Asia,
I've
they
been
don't take
all
this.
over.
Yeah,
I've been
but
all over and they don't take it. And then it's just part of the culture. Even wives understand it. I remember I met a billionaire in Turkey, down in southern Turkey. I was going to rent his penthouse and we were just chilling. And he had like girls all throughout in different type of houses and everything. He had the drop top Maybach. He was living like a top G. And he told me, he was like, yeah, I got to get home to the wife. I was like, man, your wife is cool with everything? He like, man, she better. He was like, the lifestyle I give her, she ain't got nothing to say. And it was just showing me like cultures are vastly different across the world, but it's just a known thing. So most of the women, he was even saying that his wife knew him. So it wasn't a big deal. It was long as those women didn't get out of line. And so everybody was following in order. And I was like, man, he living like a real top G.
Yeah. I
So
know this couple where the woman makes more than the guy, but it's not by much. It's like she makes like $5,000. They're both really high earners, right? But she makes, I don't know, 5K more, let's say. But he has like a retirement worked into his stuff, so he's going to be good for the second half of life. She just has a higher salary. But I'm like, why do I know this? She always is bringing it up to me. And like the last time I was over there, I haven't gone back. This was like 8 months ago. This is like 8 months ago because she would just henpeck him and it was so uncomfortable for me. And I'm sitting there and she's just like making passive aggressive comments about how she makes more and I'm like, dude, grab your balls. Like you gotta
something,
I'm
man.
like, oh my
I
God.
love my country. I love I love America, but it just be too much of that nonsense going on for me to stomach it when I go back home. People be like, "Dick, dick, dick, dick." Like the way it just go, it just make me feel some type of way. Like you said, why do I even know you make 5K more? It's just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you got a whole profile going back to what you were saying. And then like she came at you with the nonsense, first of all. She was just like extremely mad. So it was like insult, insult, insult. And then he tried to stand up and be like, leave my wife out of this. Like, tell your wife to leave you out of it. I'm trying to help you, Broham. Like, God dang.
I know. I asked two questions. I'm like, I could have called him a simp. I could have said this. I just asked
Facts.
I asked two questions and it was World War III. It's like, well.
World War III over nothing. So I think, guys, look, don't do that. I know that it might be people in the culture tell you to do that, but really just stay away from treating the woman that you're romantically involved with as your best friend. Go get a best friend and keep that separate. Because when you create that type of, oh man, we like the banter back and forth. She called me ugly and a buster, and I call her a queen. Like, that's not how it goes. Just relax. Just find other jokes. There's many jokes to make, but don't create that situation. And if a girl does that with you, just step off and stay free. Like find another one that doesn't do it. I remember I got a big thing like, you know how girls hit you like playing?
Yeah, don't tolerate that. Don't do
Man.
that.
And then I had my Ling Ling, that's what I call her. But she and her mom was around me, and then she know I don't like that, and she knows not to do it. But her mom does it. You get what I'm saying? That's what her mom does with other men. So it was to the point, even when her mom went to go do it, the Ling Ling stopped the mom, like, don't do that. Don't touch him. Don't touch him. And so it's like, if you really just have that standard and you set it, then other people will also, if you got the right woman around you, she'll also make sure people don't do that.
Did
Yeah,
she
does
ever
that make sense?
Did she ever try to do it to you? Like when you guys first started dating, was it something you had to correct or no?
Yeah, it was something I corrected out of the gate because those things are like, it's like even back in high school, right? We used to say stuff like when you was a kid growing up, oh man, if she hitting you, that means she like you. At
Yeah.
least in my experience, people used to say that.
Yeah.
Did you witness that when you were growing up?
Not really, to not hitting. I mean, I've heard that phrase before, but I didn't really see people hitting. Like,
Okay.
my high school
okay,
never.
well, yeah.
My high school never had a fight though. Like I never even knew people got into fights, and it was a very small Catholic school, so I
Pearl,
never.
like what people fight, and that's funny too. You was like, "Yo, my life is more conservative than yours." She was like, "I'm about the psychoanalysis." You're like, "What,
Well,
bro?
they're like,
I got like 10 kids.
They-
Dawson
okay.
Creek in my house."
Well, they yell at me because I don't have kids yet, and I'm like, neither did you guys when you were my age. Like, or you were on like your first, like you're having like,
Yeah.
and the thing is, they all have like twins in their 30s, so I'm like, this has to be IVF. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Like,
they was late.
I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm just saying like, if I had to put money,
Yeah,
that's
wrong
not
person
really.
to psycho.
Yeah, I'm like, what you know what I mean? Whatever.
Like I know all about it. But yeah, man, I think definitely something I had to say out the gate, and it wasn't that bad. But that's just kind of what people do, especially out here in Thailand where I was at, is people always do that, and guys be like this, don't hit me, ha ha ha. And so they're used to that. But me, I ain't doing all that. I'll be damned. God dang, you crazy.
I'm gonna
Don't
ask
hit
Sean
me.
one last question. I was saying earlier, like I said before, get yourself a Melania and not a Michelle. But could you imagine if Barack divorced Michelle and came out with a with a
Ooh.
Jennifer Aniston or some kind of, oh man, that would make my 2025, bro. That would make it.
Yo.
Pearl thinks that Barack will go into his,
Do you know?
setting him up and knocking him down phase and start setting him up and knocking him down.
They would be kind of cute together too, because like Jennifer, I think it was an amicable divorce with Brad. And that's how you can kind of see a woman's character, is how does she treat a woman that, like, a man that she hates. And Angelina's the one that brought him to court. I don't think Aniston did that. Same with her second. I don't think they were married, but she was with another guy for like a decade. I don't think she ruined his life either. So.
Yeah, but I think Obama best to be doing the free agent lifestyle. Let Obama be free, man. Come out here. Obama, if you watching, follow CJ and Pearl daily.
And Aniston's not settling down either. It'll just be like a fling. They'd be kind of cute.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't know, because Jennifer Aniston, she already missed the window of having a kid. Because she put that, my IVF journey. I think she's ready to settle down and actually get married.
Yeah.
Because she's putting those feelers out there. She's tired of being alone. She doesn't want to be alone the rest of her life. After this, I was able to find the clip on
we'll
Timcast. Thank you, TMX. I really appreciate it. He told me where to go, and he gave me the timestamp. So I will put it in the Zoom chat.
Okay.
And we can cover it.
Or can you send it to me on X? And then I'll pull it up on the screen.
Yeah, send it to you on X.
Yeah. Because then I can just do a screen share.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for calling in, Sean. Call in anytime, okay?
Yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. Shout outs to Doug. Shout outs to everybody at the Audacity Network. And keep your foot on their neck. See you, Pearl.
See ya.
I'm trying to post this to you. Where am I going to do this here? Here, I'm just going to put it in the Zoom chat because I am so new to X. Here, I'm just going to put
I can't get into the Zoom chat on my laptop. Can you send it, like text it to me?
Yeah.
That's because I can, on my laptop, accesses my text.
Hold on one second.
That's fine. What do you think? Do you think Tim Pool simped?
Well, so apparently his female host was trying to do a peace offering between the two, and between both you parties. And here, one second. and so she was trying to offer how to navigate that whole thing. You said text it to you, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I'm not unpeaceful. They're the ones yelling at me. They're the ones calling me a spinster. I said, should we be tweeting about your husband in public? Like, is that what we should be doing? I said, Pearl.
Yeah. Your whole position is warranted, Pearl. I know people make you think that you're the odd person out, but the TradCons simp worse than anybody else right now. Okay, I'm gonna text you this link. Give me a second. Copy link. Text it to you. And okay, and go to 1 hour and 31 minutes.
Okay.
And thank you, TMX. I really appreciate it. And thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you, everyone in the Audacity chat. Thank you for being here this evening. We really appreciate it.
Okay. Is this today or? Oh, this was today.
Yeah, this is literally today.
Okay.
Become a. But what I mean by, like, you've got this in many different forms. You've got the seek to serve God and those who want to be God.
Yeah.
The left is comprised of people who believe they are the main character, everything is for them, and all that matters is their pleasure. And then conservatives tend to be, I'm not saying absolute, serving the greater good, whether it's society or God's will or something like that.
Well, I see that at protests a lot, that main character energy a lot of people have.
Well, and it's nihilism, right? I mean, they just want to seek pleasure however they can, and they don't care about
this woman is nuts. I know her.
anything else. I mean, I also think that there's they're enabling mental illness, right? Like, so when you enable mental illness and you embrace
that is because they're God.
Empower them, right?
They can't be wrong or bad.
Yeah, that's why they can change their sex, and that's why they can, become a.
But what I mean by, like, you've got this in many different forms. You've got the tech bros who literally want to be God. They want to upgrade their brains and program, like, download their mind into a computer and then become whatever. Who knows?
They should just stop microdosing.
They should
really
stop
should.
or
No,
start.
they should stop the
Wait, so where is it? You said 1 hour 31 minutes.
Yeah, let me
microdose.
Start. I think they need to maybe
all of these
macrodose.
It'll be macrodosing it.
AIs that are being created. There's going to be like 6 different machine entities on the earth. They're going to fight. It's going to get nuts.
Yeah, I don't know how, but if you just turn off their way that
they'll merge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
they
It's
merge.
it is. Okay. It's 1 hour and 21 minutes. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. 1 hour and 21 minutes. Okay.
Matt Walsh, my guy.
She's on fire and covered in bullet holes.
No, not in that sense that she's
like
on Martha's
1 hour and
Vineyard
21
and-
minutes.
Okay.
Barack
have to worry
Obama
about
wrote a
separating.
letter to his girlfriend that he fantasized about having gay sex. The guy is a sexual menace. Like, maybe he wants to torture her so she can't go make love to another person while he's cheating on her behind his back. Like, I'm just saying the guy's a pervert.
So, Alex, you were explaining something about Matt Walsh fighting with Pearl when the show started.
Yeah, this is I can't.
And
Let's go.
And I first wanted to ask you, why should I care?
What do you mean? Because Pearl's one of the most influential women in the red pill space, and there's not very
Dang
many
right.
And the girl on the bottom is so mad that he said that.
Let's go.
women.
She's such a bitter old hag.
And honestly, you should start popping some red pills every now and then, now that you're a father, and get totally based. And Matt Walsh is a great documentarian, and I see 2 of my personal heroes fighting. And Pearl's losing weight, looking good. She's you know how I described that other girl is a Ford pickup truck? Pearl used to look like a Ford pickup truck. Now she's starting to look more like a Tesla. So I'm just, she's my girl, and I don't want her fighting with Matt Walsh, my guy.
She's on fire and covered in bullet holes?
No, not in that sense that she's being,
It's more a Ford Focus.
She's a Ford Focus, and she
And
probably
a
takes
Accord.
Adderall, maybe.
The Accord, yes.
Yeah, Honda Accord.
I listen. And
Bro, a Accord costs twice as much as a Tesla.
Okay. Are we going to get to the topic?
Oh, the Accords will last a lot longer. But with Sarah and I were arguing about this. Sarah and I were arguing about this a little bit. And Pearl, I was listening to a statement she had after the fact, and love Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh, great documentarian. And Sarah, of course, took his side. But
Well, hold on. Does Tim know what the argument is?
Yeah, I saw.
Okay.
So you saw the tweet.
Pearl says the primary point of Twitter is to troll your husband. And then Matt Walsh responded, Pearl, I understand that you're miserable and lonely and have never been in anything approaching a functional or healthy relationship in your life. So I'll try to be patient with you. You see, husbands and wives who love each other will often do this thing called joke around. They may even have this other thing that I know is foreign to you called a sense of humor. I hope this clears that up. Now go spew your bullish elsewhere and leave my wife out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, what?
Did he just hit her with the keep my wife's name out your mouth?
He did.
Yeah, he sure did.
He definitely did.
And he ratioed her
She
into
said,
oblivion.
isn't a wife supposed to be a helpmate, not an adversary? And he said, it's called a joke, Pearl. The mother of my 6 children is very much my helpmate in a million ways you couldn't possibly understand, and that I won't waste my time explaining to you. You can take as many pot shots at me as you want. I don't care. Leave my wife out of it. I promise you this is not a road you want to go down.
Well, this is my only thing is that
Wait,
he
they didn't read my response. If you don't read
took the bait. Matt took the bait by even.
He didn't take the bait. He ratioed her into oblivion.
Well, if I
but she's looking for engagement.
She then says, guess who's going to be on my thumbnail tomorrow with a emoji devil.
I just
Dude,
think
okay, look.
this shtick is getting old.
Pearl's whole thing is woman bad.
Yeah.
And then, like, literally no matter what.
SIMP. God, he's always simping. He's going to say I always say that. Watch.
You know what's really funny is
well, Pearl likes big booty Latino guys.
she's got all these simps. Pearl has all these simps.
Her boyfriend's Dominican.
She has this audience of simps.
Mm-hmm.
And when
You can't help it, Dominican boyfriend.
Shut
can't
up.
help
Up.
Bro, when you criticize Pearl for having an incoherent message, her simps attack you and call you a simp.
Yeah.
And
No, I'll just call you a simp, Tim. Like, I don't need them to do it. I'll do it. Like, you don't.
I'm like, bro, she's not going to date you. And then they start banging the table and screaming, you can't say that to me.
Tim, you have got to be kidding me. You pander so hard. The women aren't going to date you either. Like, get the.
Guys, remember,
like,
Pearl was on Tim's show. She
who's
graced Tim's show with her presence.
Yeah, and do you know what else, too? He has no smoke for me on the show. And do you know what? The next day, he makes a video saying, Pearl's insecure. Oh my God, I was there like a day before, Tim. Grow a pair. None of this confrontation there. Aren't you the man? Like,
say to you.
Well, also, she tries to use the argument that women should not be telling men what to do, how to feel, anything like that, except when a man disagrees with her and says, I'm the one in the marriage, you're not.
God, she looks so old. Oh my God. You know, she
The jowls?
She
Look at the
she
jowls by her
she
lips.
me too'd a bunch of guys at like Blaze Media and got them fired. She's a horrible woman. Horrible. Like the things I've heard that she's done, like horrible. Horrible. And I've never even met her, but her reputation is that bad from like people that don't even know each other.
Let me tell you how my marriage is because it's my marriage, and she has to then try to correct him, which she tells every other woman you're
I didn't correct anybody. I asked 2 questions, 2.
not allowed to do. She, I guess, is the only one who can do that.
I think the only thing she really has for her show is that women are awful.
Yep.
And then it's just like, what I really don't understand is how you create a daily news show where it's just today why women are awful. Here's why.
Have you even watched my show, Tim? Oh my God.
You just like show Isabella DeLuca eating steak, and you're just like, this bitch is fat. I'm not saying that, but that's like all you have to do, and then you gotta get a bunch of views. Like,
well, or she baits Matt Walsh and insults his wife.
yeah, I'm just saying it's.
I didn't insult his wife.
You didn't insult
I didn't insult her. They insulted me.
The same kind of
gender war stuff like this does billions of views, and it's really, really easy.
Oh my God, I can't. Doug, it's that bad out there, isn't it?
Pearl, do you remember a couple of times?
Oh my God, they're such simps. Go ahead.
We've known each other for what? Almost 4 years, right?
Yeah.
And there have been times where you said, because both of us had a conversation about, maybe this red pill, there's peaks and valleys. People always say, the red pill's going to go away, but why do I keep telling you each time we have the conversation as to why you're always going to have a job? Why people are always going to come to your show, Pearl? Do you remember?
Because the red pill's never going to die.
Why? Because
women are
whores
women.
are going to keep being whores. Modern women are going to keep being modern women. Just when it starts to die down, modern women just light the flame back up again.
Yeah.
And that's what they don't understand.
Yeah. Let me see what else they say.
Well, there's a lot of guys who don't like women.
Yeah.
And vice
Yeah,
versa.
there
I mean,
are.
There's a lot of women that don't. I mean, that's why it does billions of views.
Well, see,
because both
Men and
Well, the
women,
women hate women
look,
just as
men and
like
women
more.
hate each other. Always
And
have.
women and women
and
hate each other.
anyone who pretends otherwise is lying.
Yeah, but Tim, women and women hate each other too.
And men hate each other.
Yeah.
In fact, everyone hates everybody. It's just a world of hate.
I mean, really,
It's just
I mean,
a
you're not
matter of
lying.
the people that feel really real passionate about it are always looking for this content.
Yeah.
There's always people that are pissed off the opposite sex.
But Phil,
And
you
also-
don't think it's funny when Pearl calls somebody a 6 and you're like, Pearl, you're a 6. Like, I mean,
and then she goes, I know.
I don't pay attention.
and it's funny,
to Pearl.
and that's why I think Pearl's funny.
She's like, that validates my answer. If I'm a 6, I know what a 6 looks like.
Thank you.
You got that right.
I think that's a
No.
I think it's
Pearl's
a
smart.
hard thing to argue.
Pearl saw how there's these women who are like the patriarchy, and what they're really saying is, I hate men. And she was like, I bet I could do the same thing, but for women.
Yeah.
And then she did. And she makes money. She's probably a millionaire.
I don't know about it. I mean, she does okay, but she got demonetized on YouTube. I think she could have been.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
I don't understand how you do like a daily show where it's just like your subject matter is always just.
Okay, Tim, come on. I'll show you. I'll show you exactly how I do it, Tim. Oh my gosh.
Women bad.
Well, drama is what everybody
You just
wants.
go on the
right?
internet and look up stories.
No.
Tim, your whole shtick is liberals bad. Like, get the fuck out of my face. That is literally your whole shtick is liberals bad. The left, the liberals. Like, we've all seen you guys do it for a decade. So, God, I just can't.
The same argument for him.
The hypocrisy of these guys, it just drives me nuts. Go ahead.
You can say the same thing for him. I guarantee you, he's probably had people in his life or his management say, hey, Tim, you know, this whole hating liberals thing, it's probably going to fan out one day, but it hasn't yet because liberals are going to keep doing liberal stuff. Just when you think it starts to die down, there's BLM riots going on and all sorts of craziness, you know? So the market is going to be there because there's a demand. It's the same thing with red pill content.
No. Hold on, Alex. I get drama. I understand being TMZ.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is like today on the Women's Bad Show, here's a woman who wore makeup.
I'll tell you why. I'll give you a good answer because there's two different forms of content. There's like content that you can kind of create that people will react to, or you can just react to content. So she's making both. She's creating the content that we're reacting to, and she's reacting to content. So it's like she's kind of doing a two-faced thing.
So what you're saying is society is going to collapse very soon.
Yeah, we're all gonna have the neural link.
You should just start 2 shows back to back, the woman bad show and the man bad show, and they should be one after the other, just 1 hour each.
All right, Tim, fly me out. Fly me out. I swear to God, fly me out because this is I want my invite back. I want an invite back. If you're going to talk shit on my show, I want this invite back. No, I want you guys to come to me, actually. I've gone to you last time. I have a chair here. I have a chair. So, yeah. If you want to see how the woman yeah, I don't have the time to go out there. It's time. Go ahead.
Glenn's in the Zoom chat waiting if you want to bring him up.
Got it. I got it. What Alex, you could do this.
Pearl
You do
versus
2
Alex?
Wait till we're done, and then I'll bring it up.
shows.
Yeah.
One is why women are bad, but then you take your jacket off and claim you're Axel Stein, the twin brother of Alex Stein, and then do
Charlie Kurt
and do the leftist version where you're like, my twin brother is wrong, and you react to it.
I like that, and I'm anti-woman and I'm pro-woman. So
Bro,
I could
actually,
do that.
This is actually an interesting thing.
You can
hold on, wait.
I
If
can do
somebody,
this easily.
if somebody launched 2 channels and claimed to be their own twin brother, nobody would know.
Your second hour is just you reacting to your first
my
hour.
first hour, yeah. He's a bigot. He's wrong.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Content is endless.
Our parents didn't love him.
Do you know what? I bet Alex Stein agrees with me, but he works at the Blaze. I know he can't work around that crazy woman all the time.
Enough.
No.
But would anybody believe, like, if you claim to be your own twin, what would the left say if, like, you had 2 channels and you were like, my brother is wrong, I disavow?
Plus,
I don't know, but that sounds like a good social experiment.
And then you're literally sitting next to each other, but the cameras are pointed out their angle.
Okay, we can bring up, how many people are in the Zoom chat?
5.
Can I see on the screen? You can bring up Glenn and Elena up at the same time because they know each other, so they can both come up. And then you can bring up, we're going to do a panel for the end because we got a lot of callers, so bring up Ryan too. And then the next 2 we'll bring up together too. Guys, Make sure you turn off the Zoom in the background. We're going to do a panel just because we have a lot of callers. So the questions that we had are, do you think that modern women feel entitled to disrespect their boyfriends in public? And tell me if you agree or disagree with the general sentiment of the show. Glenn, why don't you go first, and then Ryan, and then Elena, because obviously the men speak first on this show. I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'll say, yeah. I mean, that's what they think. They think that they're allowed to say whatever without consequence, and their men are going to back them up like, oh, yeah, she was just joking. Come on, guys. You guys can't see that was a joke? Like, haha. But, like, if your woman's going to make fun of you in public, make you the butt of the joke, that kind of just shows that she really doesn't respect you.
Well, and why do I have to find them funny? Like, they're like putting a gun to my head and requiring me to think their wives are funny. They're not funny.
How many women comedians are really funny?
I mean, none.
Maybe
I put in the chat
one.
earlier, name one funny female comedian, and then if you can find a way to do that, name a female comedian who can do a whole set without talking about her vag.
Not one.
Or being
Not one.
or being a whore.
Yeah, or being a whore. Yep.
You won't find one.
Yeah. Let me go to the next person, and feel free if you guys have thoughts, like you guys can interact with each other too. If someone says something you want to comment on. I'm trying to see how this panel Zoom goes, so we'll see. Ryan, I think, was next.
Ryan, unmute. Good.
Hello.
Hi, Ryan. Have you called in before? You look familiar.
No, I've never called in before. I'm a gay guy. I just want to get that out of the way. But I'm a super fan. You've like made my relationship so much better because I struggled to know like what my role was. Like, to be honest, I'm the more feminine one. And my boyfriend, he makes six figures. I've never worked. We've been together for 17 years. And I'm 33 now. We met when I was 16. Like, I just didn't know my role. We constantly fought. But I just wanted to get that out of the way. You've helped my relationship. I want you to know like how far reaching you are. You don't just I know this is for like straight people, but it's helped my relationship. And anyway, so with that said, I've seen my brother married a very toxic woman. The first time I met her, she's like, watch what I can do to him. She thought it was funny, and she would like slam a door in his face, and then he would just take it. And I knew this bitch was crazy as soon as I met her. And I'm like, they got married and they had a kid, and now they're divorced. My brother didn't talk to me the whole time they were married for 10 years. And like, because of her, because she isolated him, she didn't want anyone supporting him. Like, she didn't want any outside support, like people that would back him up. She wanted to isolate him and abuse him, and she like would hit him. I mean, it's insane. And they're divorced, thank God, but it's so sad because the kid's like 5, and I don't know. I just think the whole thing's really depressing. My brother had like super low self-esteem, and I think he's still struggling, but he's a lot better. But it's just like, I have a lot of empathy for straight men because they are really fucking going through it right now. And I've seen it with my brother, and he's had to like man up a lot, and he's been dating, and he was dating this black girl, and this black girl was like bossing him around a lot. I'm like, dude. And then she was like buying him tons of gifts, like trying to like love bomb the fuck out of him. Weird. I don't like
women that buy gifts usually have bad personalities they're making up for.
Oh yeah, she was something else. And she just, I don't know if it's a black girl thing. She just had so much testosterone.
I knew Doug MPA was gonna
I'm
say
black,
that.
and I can tell you, I say on my channel, I say on personal, this is not pro sentiment. It's mine. African American women are the worst women on the planet. I wouldn't say all of them, but like 80%. They're strong. I'm strong, independent. Don't need no man. In fact, most of the stories you see headlines that are stereotypical to like black people who, when it comes to crime, we're in the area that black women are more violent than black men. I'm dead serious.
And I think there's something to do with not having a father in the house. Maybe
100% true.
I've heard, but she was nice on the outside, but you could tell she was just like angry. Like there, I don't know. And I hate to like be stereotypical, but
Oh, you can go ahead.
my brother. I'm a stereotypical gay guy, so whatever. My brother is very much like a sensitive, straight guy, and it's like, dude, you need to stop being so fucking gay. Like, no offense, like I'm gay, I can say that, but
Who are
you're
you
being gay.
offending besides yourself?
and
I don't
also,
want to offend him.
there's this movement called the divestment movement, where you have these black women that are literally trying to get white men, like literally, but they don't understand that black men, we take the most from our women of any group. And they go to these other men and they realize that men of other most men, they're not going to tolerate it. And I'm kind of glad that your brother got out of the way now, because I guarantee you he's never going to let a woman treat him like that ever again. But you got to watch out because there's a group of black women that are actively hunting for men of other races, particularly white men, and they take that attitude with them.
Yeah, and she was like overweight as fuck, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? And then they broke up, and now he's like bulking up and exercising, and he's like red pilled, I think, and I'm like so proud of him. But I really hope he like can keep that up, because he's got like such a sensitivity to him that it's like he's kind of like feminine. I don't know. It's like, you're not gay, so you need to fix that. I don't know. But I think women prey on him a little bit because they know he's nice. And so because he's nice, they I don't know, they just take it and run with it, and they push it, and it's like you give them an inch, they take a fucking mile, like 1,000 miles. And
does he only date black women?
No, he dates any. He said he's never dating a black woman again, for the record, but after her. But it's just trashy girls, like fat white girls. They're always overweight, and he's not overweight. It's always overweight girls, and it's just like some, I don't know, bitches he finds on like Hinge or whatever the app is. And I don't understand why they're always overweight. I don't understand why they're always like
where he's
borderline.
had the most success with.
What?
It's probably because those are the type of women that he's had the most success with.
Maybe and they're always like tatted, and I'm just like, no offense to the women that are tatted. I just don't understand like the sleeves, and like, we grew up kind of like nice. I don't understand why you're dating like white trash. Like it's weird, but I think he has like a fetish for girls with tattoos. Maybe I don't.
It's probably just who's interested in him.
Yeah, he's got low self-esteem, so you're probably right.
Yeah. So what was the final straw in the divorce for him to... Did he divorce her, or did she leave him?
He divorced her. And I think the final straw was, it was COVID, and she was getting drunk and abusing him, like hitting him, and then she got pregnant. They lost the baby, maybe.
Ooh.
I'm trying to remember. And she was drinking during that pregnancy, smoking. She was drinking and smoking, also while breastfeeding. He just was horrified by her after a certain point. He finally saw what we all saw.
What city is he in?
We live in Columbus.
Oh, Ohio.
Ohio?
Okay.
Yeah, like outside of Columbus.
Is he downtown at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so is he like in the city?
He works in the city and lives in the suburbs.
I've heard that sometimes dating can improve if the guy moves downtown, because that's where all the hot women are.
I just want him to date like at least a pretty girl. At least
if you go even like 30 minutes out, that's when the women start getting ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't date women, so take this with a grain of salt. That's just what I've seen.
We're gonna do a show on the big city to suburbs to country pipeline, because attractive women go to the city to try to monetize their looks and try to get the big opportunity, and then they either wait too long or they have some kids or something like that. They end up having to go to the suburbs because women in the suburbs aren't as attractive, so they're gonna still get attention in the suburbs, but then eventually they're gonna age out of that too. that
They've
she would have to go
usually
to the local dive bar in the country.
you're usually in
Are
the
the girls
suburbs.
in the city gold diggers though?
Well, women are gold diggers everywhere. That won't stop. Like, they might as well be hot. Like, they might as well be young and hot. But like, I've just heard a lot of guys, their dating life changes if they work as like a bar. What does he do for work?
He's an engineer. I don't know exactly
Oh
what he does.
no, they're
What kind of engineer?
Mechanical. I
If
think.
he wants to solve his
tell me what's wrong with that.
if he
I
wants
need
to
know.
solve his girl problems, take 6 months off, be a bartender in a major city, and then he'll get so. That's what I've heard, that you can get so good with people in that role, and then there's so many hot women that come through that one's just bound. It's like a numbers game.
Or since he's an engineer, he should make enough money to go find himself one from a different country. Get a passport at least,
Give me a passport, bro. Yeah,
try that
so
out.
much.
He said he wants to date an Asian girl next.
There you go.
The only thing is, Doug, that's so much work. Like, because you get 2 weeks off a year. So how are you gonna find a wife and vet a girl enough in 2 weeks to make sure she's not like a prostitute or something?
Well, I mean, if he's dating whale,
Yeah, you're right.
tattooed
You're
whales,
right. You're
all
right.
he can do is go up. All he can do is improve.
Yeah, try Brazil. I've heard great things.
I think at this point he's a volcel or whatever it's called, voluntarily
voluntarily celibate.
He does not want anything to do with a woman right now. But then I know in a few months he's gonna be like, I'm lonely, and I'm gonna it's weird. This is gonna sound really gross, but I feel like when he's single, he treats me like I'm his girlfriend. Like he'll call me crying, and it's like, dude, But then once he has a girlfriend, I don't hear from him.
So he's
I'm
crying.
like, what the fuck
he's
is
crying.
that?
He's crying to the girlfriend, huh? That's a mistake.
Ryan, I'm gonna ask you one last question.
He's
So,
just so emotional.
what was
Go
the
ahead.
biggest issue that Pearl's content helped you tackle? What was the biggest light bulb that came on? We're like, oh man.
So
wow.
I'm with someone who's pretty successful, and we've been together 17 years, I think. And I didn't know my role in the relationship, and he's more masculine and I'm less masculine. And I just thought, I'm like, let me lean into that and kind of just let me cook. Let me learn how to cook. Let me appreciate. We were fighting so bad, all the time. And then I just started to appreciate him more, and everything's easy now. We never fight ever because I don't disrespect him. I kind of take on a wife role, to be honest. And we're just happy now. And it's been that way for a couple years because I started to listen to Pearl and other people. And that works for gay relationships. You just have to understand your role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think about?
I know some people are very traditional in here. I voted for Trump, okay? But I know some people that's not good enough, gay's wrong or something. But I'm just saying, if you are gay, these can work for you if you understand your role in the relationship.
I have a question. Do you think that some men are turning gay because women are so unbearable?
I knew I was gay when I was 5, but I will tell you something.
I knew.
I have gay friends. That tell me that I just sucked a straight guy off and he's got a girlfriend. And it's usually black guys for some reason. And so I don't know what that is, why black guys want their dick sucked by gay guys, but I've heard a lot of that happening.
I know. You look at the no offense, but the AIDS rates. It's like you gotta be careful. Do you know what freaking A. I never thought in my life that my content would help a gay couple, but I appreciate you calling in.
So I wanted to call in and let you know.
Well, I'm glad you guys stopped fighting. I learned to cook the last couple of years too. It makes your life so much better, doesn't it? Just it's so much easier.
It's just a tool you need anyway.
Yeah.
And one thing I guess you could say this about the feminine gay man too, but why go out? I say this about modern women. Why go out into the world of men to fight when you can find them? Why try to if you find a good man, he'll just give you the world. You don't have to fight for it in the world of men. Understand what I'm saying? It's like,
Right.
ask yourself, would you rather be out there trying to fight and stuff, or do you just want someone to just give it all to you? If you treat a man right, he'll just give you everything.
I think I used to crave that adrenaline rush in my 20s, like that fighting, the spiciness, and now I'm just like, I just really want to live a happy life.
Yeah.
I don't
Cool.
want the drama. So,
Well, thanks.
but I think I used to thrive on it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling
Yeah.
in. I'm gonna move to.
Call in anytime, Ryan.
Yeah, call in anytime. We're gonna.
Elena?
Yeah, Elena's on here. I'm gonna read the chat really quick, just really 1 second. I have to say that I believe marriage is the natural order, but I also understand that marriage is a bad deal nowadays. Pearl, even the female voice on my GPS argues with me. Nikki Glazer is a rare, exceptionally funny comedian. She is actually funny. She hosted the Golden Globes a couple of months and got the job again next year with a raise because she's truly funny without the slut shtick. Ben, I actually agree with you. She's funny. This is what nice means. Late 13C, foolish, ignorant, frivolous, senseless, from the old French, nice, careless, clumsy, weak, poor, needy, simple, foolish. A metrosexual is a term used to describe a man who's typically heterosexual who pays significant attention to his personal appearance, grooming, and lifestyle. Okay, what do you got for me, Elena?
Well, thank you so much for sending me the link to today's show. I was actually impressed, Pearl. You were on fire today with the tweets, and I shared them even on my Instagram, because I think that we need to see more women calling out the poor behavior of other women.
What do you think? Do you want an X account to troll your husband? Is that what you want to do in your free time?
No.
Yeah.
No. No, never. And I'm glad that you called it out. And the people who are going to attack you personally, they have nothing else to do, because look, they are not actually interested in solving the problem.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to talk about it. It's easier always to go like talk about how much money you make, or some personal stuff that they don't like about you. But as you notice, they don't actually care about men, because if they cared about men, they would be telling people the truth. They wouldn't be lying to people.
Right. And what is the worst instance you've ever seen of a wife or a girlfriend disrespecting a man in public?
Well, I've been analyzing content on social media, as you've probably noticed, and I see a lot of disrespectful women. And they say that they are married, but their behavior suggests otherwise. Their behavior suggests that they are promiscuous, they are fulfilling their open, uncontrolled, hypogamous female nature. They're exposing themselves semi-naked on social media. They are telling to other people what kind of attention they get from men, even though it's unwanted and unapproved attention, but they actually self-objectify themselves, right? They are doing it to themselves. So total lack of accountability, total disrespect towards their husbands. And I even pointed out that, look, they are doing it on purpose because they feel so empowered when they do it. Once they humiliate their husbands publicly, it kind of gives them this license and permission to cheat on their husbands. Because once he took all of the blame, like with Matt Walsh, right? He said, well, I thought it was cute and funny, right?
Right.
And then watch, she's likely to leave him, because now she got that public validation that she was looking for, because a lot of people would support her behavior, right? And then it would signal that, okay, now she can leave your husband.
Yeah.
Now she can cheat on him. Now she can.
I said earlier, Elena, that the way that whole I'm his wife and my ex account is trolling him, she's setting the precedent as to how people are. They're going to think that it's okay to troll him and disrespect him because his wife does it.
Yes.
Publicly.
Exactly.
And why didn't they call in to defend their point? I have an open line. they're tweeting at me on Twitter. I thought they'd be here. No.
Well, because they realize that you know, most people here are pretty rational people, right? We call out female poor behavior, and they just don't want to look bad in the eyes of the people.
Right.
They
I can
have their
ask you,
own cycle of friends who support them, and they don't want to challenge themselves. Go ahead. Mhm.
if I can ask you, Elena, culturally, where are you from?
I'm originally from Russia. You can probably
Okay.
hear with the accent.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say, because multiple people, multiple men have said men in the West put up with stuff that men in other places don't put up with. Is that your experience too, where you probably see what men are putting up with, and you're like, back in Russia when I was growing up, this would not be happening.
Well, when I was growing up, there were different things going on. Yes, society has changed a lot lately, and I've been actually sharing a few videos that my dad has been sending to me. Women are crazy everywhere. Female nature is what it is. You know, I talked to Pearl before, right? Do you remember Pearl?
Yeah,
when
I do.
we,
I remember.
talked
I remember.
Like killing dreams, guys. Women are women everywhere. Russian women are no different from Western women, especially with the feminist infiltration.
Right.
Even like dating Asian women, and we've done a few shows on them. Oh my goodness, guys, you have to be very careful because they realize what's happening in their culture and they want to get out. So they will wear a mask of a traditional woman, perfect woman, right? She will promise you all of the golden mountains. She will clean, she will cook, she will do everything for you. Once you bring her here, then
right.
she can get under the bad influence, and then it's done, you know?
Right.
So I have to be very, very careful and vet them carefully.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a while. Women are women. It just is what it is. There's some cultures like where they have less opportunity to behave this way, but you see what happens to the passport girls when they get here after like a year. They go nuts. Yeah.
Oh, they go crazy. Yeah.
God forbid you bring her near Miami or LA. She's cooked.
You know, I'm married. I was married and divorced, and my ex-wife, she was new to the country. She had been in the country for a year and a half, 2 years, and she was West African, and everything was good until she started going to college.
Oh,
That was the beginning of the end right there, man. Because she got surrounded by these liberal women, and you know, by the time that she was a junior in college, she was a completely different person.
I'm gonna take.
They get totally indoctrinated. The more degrees, I came up to the conclusion. Well, I'm not the only one who came up with this one, but a lot of people would probably agree with the fact that the more degrees they have, the more delusional they are going to be.
I'm gonna read the super chats real quick. Darius says the black. Why you make me say this? I'm gonna do it, but
I'll read it if you want me to.
Yeah, you can read Darius.
Okay.
I'm gonna read the next one, but go ahead.
Darius says the black community is cooked, Cajun, deep fried, pan seared, sautéed, flame grilled, charbroiled, and roasted. You could thank LBJ 1964 for the Welfare Act. Before that, we were the most married and the least divorced. You are 100% true, and I say, if you want to be successful, especially as a black man, you got to leave this whole black nation thing behind. You see on TV, oh yeah, brothers and sisters. No, man, because some of your biggest ops will be other black people. In my experience, through undergrad, grad school, almost every professional setting I've worked in, my worst enemy has been another black person. So Darius Coleman is 100% correct. The sooner you leave this whole black nation culture thing behind, the better off you'll be. Now, that's not Pearl sentiment. It is Doug MPA sentiment.
Ken Kill says, like prison. Oh wait, hold on. I think the other one was first. They'll care about the average man when society starts to seriously collapse and protection becomes more of a necessity again. Like prison, but slowed down in society. When you weaken the image of man, he becomes the prey and target for the environment. Women weaken their own protection by disrespecting their husbands in public. It's a good bar.
And because, look, Pearl, there are no restraints on the major scale. People rarely hold women accountable today, and it comes from the institutions that have been totally infiltrated by the feminist propaganda that are being run. Like, look, if you pay attention who is in charge of these institutions, who is in charge of church, who is in charge of media,
Yeah.
who is in charge of schools and colleges. It's delusionally entitled women and effeminate weak men who pedestalize these delusionally entitled women. They ruin our society. They ruin the lives of our children. And look, our children will have to live in this mess. And look, guys, my husband told me that it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to restrain a woman. This should tell us something.
That's a good
Oh my
saying.
goodness. He's dropped a truth bomb in
That's
here.
a
That was
great bar.
Put that on a shirt or a
Yeah,
mug.
it takes a village to restrain a woman. That's great.
Well, but it's so true. It's a societal effort. We can't just rely on the man. Oh man, you control the woman. You keep her in check when everything is against men.
Yeah. Do you want to let the next person into the chat room? How many people are back there? Just do the last two or one. It was just one that's waiting? Yeah. Okay, you can let one last one in. And then we're going to cut calls for the night. I totally agree with you, though, Elena. Totally. It's crazy because women, when they're scorned, it's like they'll go to the ends of the earth to get revenge, where men will just let it go. They'll just move on.
Most men who get custody of their children don't put the woman on child support.
Yeah.
I think it's only like 10% of men who have custody put the woman on child support when they're taking care of the child full time. It's some small number.
Who's the next one? You want to bring him up?
Warren, are you there? Warren? Unmute. Warren, are you there? I can see you. Huh. Because he's the only person on the line. Warren. It says that he's having trouble with his audio earlier, so maybe it's his audio. You want to try to go out and come back in, Warren, maybe?
There are so many people that had beef with me on Twitter. I thought one hater would call in. I thought one. I mean, I got ratioed by 38,000. You think out of 38,000, one would have the balls, you know? Well, it is what it is.
Well, Warren's gone.
Okay.
Oh,
Well-
Warren, last chance.
Okay,
5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, sorry.
All right, well.
Go ahead,
All right, guys, final thoughts on the topic. I'm getting sleepy. It's getting late. So, Glenn, Elena, what are your final thoughts on this topic? Glenn, you go first, obviously, woman.
Right. You know, guys are going to put up with this until guys are done tired of the same old bullshit. You know, guys need to demand action. They need to show that with action. They need to not tolerate it. As long as they tolerate it, then this is going to be continuing behavior. So they should expect it until they decide they don't want it anymore. You know, that's really what it is. And that's the difference between, you know, bitching about things and being a man of action. Too many guys are in the space bitching about shit, but they're not men of action.
Great.
Simple.
Thanks so much, Glenn. You're awesome.
No problem.
Okay.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You
Peace.
too. Bye. Elena, final thoughts today?
Well, thank you, Pearl. Thank you so much for calling out poor behavior. I just appreciate the women who do it because, as I've mentioned before, it's a societal effort and we need women to, you know, direct other women, maybe younger women who are willing to listen and learn. Maybe there is some hope for them there. Because essentially what this ruins, it also ruins women's lives. Younger women are going to suffer because men are already checking out. There is no incentive for men to even want a long-term committed relationship.
Right. Yeah, totally. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure as always. So we
Thank
always
you,
stream
dear.
around this time. So if you ever want to call in, feel free.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Okay,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
everyone. Take care. Bye.
Everyone's subscribe to Elena's channel. I've been putting it in the chat. Go subscribe.
Yeah, guys. Roulette wheel. Thank you for the super chat. Let me refresh the page on the website to double check. Pearl.
Darius Coleman. has another
Pearl, I said it
super chat,
before.
too.
Okay, I'll read it. Eastern European women get it. This is the best phrase I've ever heard. It takes a village to restrain a woman. Okay, let me see the other super chat I missed. Who is it from?
There's one from.
Do you want to
I don't
read
know
it?
if you read.
Yeah, go
Ken
ahead.
Kill Cam 3 says, did you read they'll care about the average man when society starts to seriously collapse and protection becomes more of a necessity again? And then,
Yeah, I read that.
Coleman, $20. And then Darius Coleman says, as long as women are coupled with a corrupt state and have the right to vote, withdraw your resources and productivity from the system. #MGTOW, hashtag hold the line. And then there's one more $10 from Roulette Wheel, and that is all of them.
Great. Awesome. Okay, well, thank you. Guys, also, we're going to be doing a charity stream for Glenn tomorrow. So if you guys don't know, Glenn is a friend in the space. He's always been really, really kind to me. And unfortunately, last year we found out he had a terminal brain cancer. And his wife is paralyzed. So it's just kind of a bad situation altogether. And what we want to do is we want to raise money for in-home care because the illness is getting pretty bad to the point they're going to need 24-hour help because between the two of them, it's just a rough situation. So we're doing a charity stream tomorrow. I think Myron's going to come on. I think Milo. I think, Zerka. I think a bunch of people are just coming on the stream just to raise money. I think they're at like 30,000. They're trying to raise 120. So if you guys can give, feel free. It's a really good cause. And he's a really good person. So just the more support we can get. It's on Glenn's channel. If you wouldn't mind putting that in the comments, just so they have it after the show. Doug MPA and in the chat.
Okay, yeah.
We'll
do that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
There's one last super chat.
Oh, okay, there is.
Ken Kilcam says, this will continue until nature. Oh, it's $10. Thank you. He says, this will continue until nature resets itself. I'm sorry. This will continue until nature resets itself with collapse. When you screw with nature, nature screws with you. Pearl, when that time comes, many men will not forget your voice within these final days.
Thank you so much. Do you have any final thoughts you want to give Doug MPA before we close out?
Anytime that you talk about fake trad cons is a good night for all of us.
I grew up around it. I can't help it.
Keep stepping on their necks. You know, it's sad that Matt Walsh, the Daily Wire is awful. He is the least awful of all of them, but that's not saying much. But he married a woman who has no problem, you know, publicly shaming him and trolling him. She should be focusing on her 6 kids, and she should be fine with being behind him and being his wife and the mother of his children. But apparently she's not. And I don't hope for divorce, but all these trad cons, I wouldn't be surprised if one day they're behind Steven Crowder in the paternity court line.
Yeah. Do you think she'll change her
divorce court line.
Do you think she'll change her bio in the next month?
No.
Damn. Okay, well, thanks for your commentary. As always, Doug MPA, you've been great. Guys, like the video on your way out, subscribe to the channel, and go to theaudacitynetwork.com. The link to the app is also in the description. Guys, we're going to have smart, intelligent, oftentimes non-famous men on there to tell you how to make more money in certain industries, have success with the women. I know so many intelligent guys. And ladies, the like 2 women that watch, maybe you could try to date one of them. You never know. Shoot your shot. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.